Hello YouTube and welcome to a brand new video, and today we are back with a different video. Today we're doing a great generation debate, and as you can see we are not alone. We are joined by Mr. Dr. Slacking. We're also joined by Dreadful Dragonite.
Yo, what's good, y'all? We out here.
And last but not least, we're joined by Aquarius.
Hello. What's up?
Hello.
We have Matt in the corner eating his pizza silently, so...
Pathetically.
Yeah.
It's
fine. Don't worry about it.
F in the chat.
We can call this a mukbang and get more views. So...
He's been gagging on pizza for the last, like, half an hour.
It was a big pizza. It's cold now. It's not as good as it was.
So, anyway, this series is going to be broken down into, I want to say, like 4 or 5 episodes, I want to say, in total. But
27.
We're gonna be able to 15 episodes, okay, bro?
Yeah.
It's simple as that. 15 episodes.
We're going to keep on going until we actually get a proper answer. But today's episode is going to be just purely based around the Pokédex. So, which generation's got like the best based on just the Pokemon alone? And the first category we are going to cover today is the starters.
Delete.
So, I want to put something out there right now. For first place, I want to say either Gen 4 or Gen 1.
Completely agree.
I completely agree. Gen 4, I think, has the best set of starters. Can I clarify something? We're using the entire line. It's not just like
the entire line.
Yeah.
So we have like
and only based on design, not competitive scene, right? Only
so I think everything in general. Everything in general.
Okay.
I think
everything in general.
4 and 1 have the only 3 starters that have great lines all the way through. I don't think there's any flaws in any of those lines.
I say we go from bottom to top. I say we go from bottom to top.
I say we go top to bottom.
Top to bottom, because I know what's last, and
I know what's last too.
I think we're.
I know what's last.
If we all do not agree on last, something is wrong with you. Because last has to be this one. Okay, so I agree with that. It's Gen 4 or Gen 1, right?
I think 4. I think 4.
If I had to, like, I put them both in the same level as first place tied, but if I had to take one, I take Gen 4 over Gen 1, just based on, like, all the designs are slightly better than Gen 1's are, and the little bit more reliable and competitive scene than Gen 1 is. Barring the megas, you can't count the megas because that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair.
I would also. Matt just sitting in the corner eating the pizza.
I'm just listening. I'm just here to listen.
I think we should also be cautious of, like, maybe Gen 1 is also up there for nostalgia reasons. Like, I think Gen 4 doesn't have that, barrier on it. So I feel like we should just default 4 over 1.
Yeah. But Gen 4 and Gen 1...
Hard disagree. Hard disagree. Gen 4 can have nostalgia. A lot of people started playing with Gen 4. There's a lot of people in this community whose first generation ever was Gen 4. Just because it's not Gen 1 doesn't mean it's nostalgia.
I started with Gen 4. My first game was Platinum.
So for Dragonite, it might be more nostalgic.
I agree.
It might be more nostalgic for them than Gen 1. So, like, I don't think you can say, oh, it's nostalgia.
Sorry, I don't mean in the sense of, like, whoever played it first. I mean in the sense that, like, the Gen 1s are the ones that are advertised the most. They're the ones that are in our faces the most. They're the original. So that's something we should be cautious of.
What's your opinion? You said 4 and 1, right? But which one do you put on top?
I honestly, Gen 4 like is this much ahead, but I wouldn't be mad if it's the other way around.
Okay, so then
I think we agree 4 over 1. I think
4 over 1.
Right, Matt? What do you want to say, Matt? Don't say Gen 3. I'm gonna smack you if you say Gen 3.
Gen 4. Gen 4 is the best.
So we've all agreed that Gen 4 is first.
Gen 4 is first,
yeah.
And then second was Gen 1.
Yep.
Gen 1 is second best, right?
Gen 1 second, everyone? Yes.
Can I propose third place?
Third place. Go for it. Go for it.
Go ahead.
I propose for third place is Gen 3.
Same. That's
what?
Same thing.
No. No.
Okay, wait. Hold up.
Let me
tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's top 3.
Well, hold on. Let's hear what Jake says first, and then.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
go ahead.
Because Gen 3, I like Blaziken, I like Swampert, but Sceptile can go sit in the trash.
Cool.
It's like
Sceptile's cool.
Sceptile, cool. No, I hate Sceptile.
I like Sceptile.
No.
Sceptile's amazing.
Sceptile's cool.
I hate Trico. I hate Grovyle. Ben's watching this, he's going to shout at me, but I want
what's your third?
So what's your third? What do you put on third?
Probably, I want to say Gen 5.
Nah, worst.
Ooh,
No.
Oh, no.
Gen 5 starters are ass,
Worst.
man.
Worst.
The
Gen,
only
Gen
reason
6.
Gen 5
Gen
is
6 is
there
next after 3.
because
Gen 6 is
Snivy
next.
and Superior carry those other two starters.
Samurott looks
Superior-
absolutely dope.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
Samurrott's
go.
cool.
Yeah. It's
Samurrott's
amazing,
cool.
but Samurott doesn't carry that much weight as much as Superior does.
No.
Superior is like the face of Gen 5. It basically is the face of Gen 5.
Yeah.
Samurai is like the secondary, but it doesn't hold that much weight. And for Gen 3, you have Sceptile, you have Swampert, you have Blaziken. Blaziken is an Uber. Mega Blaziken is an Uber as well. And you have Swampert. Mega Swampert is freaking busted.
Yeah, but
as
Mega
well
Swamper's
under
ugly. And I
Yeah.
thought we weren't counting Megas. You can't include them when
Yeah,
you
we're
want
yeah,
not
yeah,
counting
yeah,
Gen
yeah,
1.
yeah,
Gen
yeah,
1.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Gen 1.
So
Can I- let me-
Sceptile, Swampert, and
Let me make a
Blaziken
quick
just
point here.
there.
I don't think so. We're 4 and 1 are gone. Gen 3,
Yeah.
Gen 2, Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 5. There is one Pokemon in all of those, I think, out of all the starters that are awful. And I think out of all of those that are awful, Sceptile is the best of them, if that makes sense.
yeah, Sceptile's not even bad. I love Sceptile.
I don't think
love
there's-
Sceptile.
Sceptile's the best.
The
I-
only generation with an
agree.
awful starter is Gen 7. I don't think there's a single other generation that has
No.
an awful
What?
starter.
There's
no.
There's Gen
there's
6,
there's
there's
worse.
Gen 2, there's Gen...
Gen
all of
6,
them.
Yeah.
Gen 6 has great starters. Chestnut is
Gen
fucking
6
is
amazing.
Delphox.
Greninja is
No,
like
Delphox,
top
hello?
tier.
Delphox.
Delphox
No.
is cool. Okay,
No.
Braixen.
No.
Braixen is
No.
dumb, but
No.
Delphox is cool.
No, you're
Delphox
racist.
is cool.
Hold on.
Fennekin is
Fennekin.
cool.
Hold on. 3 of us agree 3rd gen is 3rd. So I think
Yeah.
we stop there.
Yeah, Gen
right?
3 is
I agree.
Gen
I
3's right there.
I think I think
in
we
my
could give
opinion-
leniency to Jake's point of Gen 5 and put it higher than maybe the rest of us there did, but I feel like there's no way that Gen 3 can be lower than 3rd at this point.
Yeah, it can't. It's just too good. The starters are just too good. And they're
I would put
so
Gen 3
well rounded that you just can't put them lower than 3rd place. You just can't. It's just not possible. They're just so well rounded compared to other starters that we do have. They're just so well rounded.
Also, like they're a lot more iconic than some
Yeah,
of the
they're way
others.
more iconic. Come on, bro. They just
Like
are.
Blaziken.
And if talk in-game perspective, you can't go wrong with any of the mons. If you pick any out of those 3 mons, you cannot go wrong. You're going to have a good time in the adventure. And say like
Have a good
Gen
time.
6, you pick a wrong.
That's just it, man.
You pick the wrong mon, you're gonna have a rough time in the game. But for Gen 3, all 3 stars, you're not gonna have a rough time in the game at all.
I think it's
They're
3.
just so
I
well-rounded.
don't think there's any
So
way
where
we
are
can...
those?
Gen
I
think
2,
you're outvoted
Gen 2
here.
is just
Yeah.
as good. Gen 5's not far behind. Gen 6 is just as good. The only generation that's actually shit is Gen 7.
I
Well,
agree.
that's
Gen
where
7
you're
is
wrong.
terrible.
No.
Gen 7
Gen
is
7 is just so
What?
bad.
I
It's so
put
bad.
Gen 7 as 4th place.
It's so bad.
I put Gen 7
I
as
would
4th place.
I would not put it that high.
I would
put
Gen
it that
7
high.
is worst, but
Can
it's
I
not
can I
like
give you my
4th
hot
place.
take for 4th?
4th place. I would
My
say
hot
5.
take for 4th place is 2.
I agree.
See, that
2 or
was-
6. 2 or maybe 2. Maybe
No,
2.
I don't
No,
like
no.
6.
Delphox
I
is
was
weaker than
debating-
Delphox is
I
weaker
was
than
debating
than
over 7 and 2. That's what I
Actually-
was debating.
You might have a
I
point.
was
Who is-
debating 7 over 2.
Actually, Matt, I
Who
actually
is last?
hate Chestnut more than I hate Delphox, believe it or not.
What?
What?
Chestnut is a
Who
good
is
boy.
the best one?
He's so
Hello?
handsome.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I
No,
don't know
Oh,
why.
boy, Alvin,
I don't know why.
hello?
It's just like this gross
Nah.
hunchback Santa Claus.
No,
thing.
he's
I don't
so
like it.
handsome.
It's not.
He's not.
Strong
I love
disagree.
Chestnut.
Not.
I love it.
Hello?
Maybe
Okay,
it's because I hate
so-
beards. Maybe I hate beards. I don't
He's
know.
like
He
a
has
big
no beard.
bear that
Wow.
you just want to
Weird
be
gag.
spooned by.
Sue me.
I want to be the little spoon to Chestnut's big spoon.
Okay, so
and that makes him
I was
good.
also.
I-
Makes
I
him
was also
good.
debating over 7 and 2 for 4th place, but I just put 7 over 2, just because.
I
Your
don't. I
starters-
think Incineroar is the ugliest
Yeah.
thing that has ever come
Yeah.
out of the fucking
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
No,
Yeah.
no,
And
it's
the
not.
fact-
Incineroar's
and the
amazing.
Fact, and the fact it was,
It's
I know
so
this is off
bad.
topic. The
It's
fact
so
it was
bad.
chosen for Smash Bros is hideous.
It's so
like,
bad.
It's gross.
What?
so
I
bad.
love
It's-
it.
it's-
No, yeah,
it's-
we're not gonna talk about
No,
Incineroar like
it's,
that, dog.
no,
There's
it's
no way we're
only
talking
Smash
So
about
because
ugly.
the Decidueye's in Pokken, and they didn't want to cross them over.
Decidueye, right? Decidueye looks sick, but is
I like
actually
Decidueye.
shit in game. Like, it's so bad in game.
Just-
and
It's
stuff.
so bad
Just-
in game.
Just so we're on the same track.
Primarine is like amazing
Worst
in game.
starters.
Just so we're on the same
Yeah,
track.
but
Are
Primarine
we
is ugly.
disagreeing that 2 is 4th? Because there wasn't a lot
I'm
of
not
opposition
thinking.
to that.
I'm
I
not.
put
I'm not.
Gen 7 as 4th.
Which,
I'm
what,
not
what's,
doing 2 and 4.
what's bad with 2?
No,
What's bad
no.
with 2? Meganium is a cute boy.
I only
Typhlosion's
like
sick.
Feraligatr is the only good point of Gen 2.
What?
What did you
No.
say?
I hate
What?
Meganium. I don't.
Meganium's so
Meganium,
cute.
I don't like. I
He's
don't
so
like Meganium,
cute.
and Typhlosion's meh.
Typhlosion's like Typhlosion's cool.
Typhlosion's meh.
Typhlosion is the
God. I love Typhlosion.
love Typhlosion.
Charizard. Get the fuck.
Typhlosion's like okay. Typhlosion's like coolish.
Wait. So, Jake, what do you want as fourth place? What do you want as fourth place, Jake?
I want 5 or 7 in 4th place.
No, they're the worst too.
I want a 7. Not 5. Not 5. I love 7. Primarina, Decidueye, and Incineroar. They're amazing. They're amazing.
They're the worst too.
Yes, they are. They're
No,
amazing.
Primarina, ugly. Incineroar, hideously ugly. Decidueye, bitter disappointment. How can that be the? How can that not be bottom?
It kind of is. Do you remember when Rowlet came out and we were like, it's gonna be this amazing soaring like?
Nah, man, I like Litten the most.
Even when I saw Decidueye, I was like, oh, cool Archer,
like
gonna have
Litten
whatever, slow as shit, boring in game.
Horrible. Terrible.
Okay, so I wouldn't mind if putting Gen 2 because I was debating it with myself too. I was like, okay,
not putting
fourth place, 7 or 2. Because you can't go wrong with Gen 2. You really
cannot. Gen 2 is really good. It's just it's like nothing in Gen 2 is insanely good, but it's just really solid. Like there's nothing bad.
Even though I don't like
there's
Meganium,
no
I really
standout.
do not like Meganium. I really do not like
so
Meganium.
Cute though. It's just like a little dinosaur.
It's cute, but like I just don't like it's.
Why not? What do you not like about it? What do you not like about it?
I'm saying I like it, but it's like I don't like it as much as like Totodile and Cyndaquil.
Also, here's the other thing that's good about Gen 2. Is Gen 2 gives you like the badass mon of like Feraligatr. It gives you like the mid-ground of Typhlosion that's like kind of cool but not trying too hard. And then it gives you Meganium, which is like the cute option. So you have everything you could want in a starter trio.
So that's
Gen 7 tries to do it. It gives you ugly-ass Primarina.
Let me also make a point for Gen 2. I think that out of all the set of starters, like, and in my opinion, this is a good thing. For some others, it might not. They're the least like complicated. I think that a lot of the time they try to overcomplicate the final evolutions, and it looks disgusting sometimes.
That's what was good with Gen 1.
Primarina, Emboar, like perfect examples here.
Yeah,
for Gen 2,
really
you know
exactly
Emboar's
what
growing
you're
I used to
getting.
hate Emboar. I used to hate Emboar, but I like it now.
I dislike Emboar.
The problem with Emboar is Tepig. Like, the Tepig like looks really cute, and then it turns really like boorish. It's like
Luchador thingy, like what? Like how did it become something mega cute and then turn into like a fighter? Like
that's the problem. Is it didn't follow.
That's the same with every fire starter.
My point for Gen 2 is that they're so simple, they're nice. They're like really clean.
Yeah.
So I'm down with Gen 2 being 4th place. I'm down with that. I'm not.
3 against 1. Democracy wins.
What? But Gen 2 is bad.
How is Gen 5 better than Gen 2? Like, come on.
I'm really curious.
Gen 5 is
underrated. If you were arguing
like,
for any other generation above Gen 2 besides Gen 5, I'd respect that opinion. But I don't understand how Gen 5 is above anything.
I think 2 and 6 my bottom 2.
I put 5 and 6 my bottom 2.
My bottom 2 were 5 and 7.
No, you can't disrespect 7 like that. 7 has to be above 5 and 6.
7 was my second to worst. I think 5 is the worst set of starters. 5 is the best game. I think 5 is the worst set of starters.
6 is the worst set of starters.
Greninja saves Gen 6. Greninja saves Gen 6.
Yeah, but okay, we'll get into that later on. So 4th place, we're taking 2nd gen, 4th place, okay? Right?
Yeah,
I
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I agree on.
5th place now. 5th place. I'm gonna say Gen 7 for 5th place. Because my got donked out from 4th place.
Hold on.
Place.
Let me be nice here, because as much as I think Gen 5 is the worst, we have sort of duped Ditto on these like past.
I wanted it 3rd place, and now it's like 5th place.
I think Gen 5 is really underrated, and the problem is like none of them were like that good apart from Serp, and Serp is really limited in what it does. So like after their gen passed, they became so much more irrelevant than other starters. Like when do you ever see Samurott now? Like it's so irrelevant.
And I'm gonna be honest. What are the gens we have left right now? 5,
got 6 and 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7.
I think Oshawott cool. I like
5, 7, 6.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta get my charger real quick. I'm
okay.
my last about that.
We'll just keep on.
I think so. Final evolution's not allowed. I actually agree with Jake that the first set of the 3, Oshawott, Tepig,
and Snivy
are better than the other sets of 3.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the final evolutions are iffy, but I agree with the starter.
I think if Samurott was like an OU mon, it would be adored. If it was like a Greninja tier mon, it would be adored because its design is so good. If it stood up on its back,
why is that relevant though? Why is that relevant?
Because it becomes forgotten otherwise. If you think about our favorite generations, the Gen 4 starters, apart from Torterra, like Empoleon and Infernape are still really viable. Gen 1, all of them are still really viable.
You just put
they stay relevant.
as Gen 2, so I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
But Gen 2 I think is a forgotten generation. I think us putting it that high would be unusual because I think those starters are pretty much forgotten about because they're all underwhelming competitively. So they don't stick around. They don't get fan service. They don't stay in the consciousness. Would be
regardless, I'm willing to compromise with Ditto and say 5 is number 5.
Yeah.
Number 5
because we've shafted him for a little while, so I think 5 for fairness sake has to be there.
I prefer 6, but I know that people hate Delphox, and I know why.
Yeah, so, Delphox stuff.
And the thing that annoys me with Gen 6 is how obviously Greninja was a poster boy, because I don't know that there were that many other generations where they tilted so heavily towards one starter, and that I think was poor. Like,
Gen 1.
Gen 5 is first place then?
I think the Charmander's the worst starter in Gen 1, believe it or not.
Actually, the best.
Is actually like when you like put into perspective without like fan like
yeah.
Well, I
actually is the worst. Like actually like
I don't know why they
built it the worst.
So
I love Charmander.
My favorite I think is worst. I think Squirtle as the base evolution is the worst design. It's my favorite, but it's literally just a turtle with a curly tail. It's my favorite. I love it. But in terms of the actual like at least Charmander's like a little I guess he's just got a fiery tail.
Okay.
No, yeah, he is a lizard with a.
They're both equally like Bulbasaur's
this is irrelevant. We've already.
Gen 1 was ages ago.
So Gen 5 takes fifth place.
Yeah. So we're at 4,
5, 7, 6.
So our order so far is 4, 1, 3, 2, 5.
5.
Okay. And
so we're 6 and 7 now.
6th place goes to 7th Gen taking 6th place.
7, 6.
7, 6 actually, because 6 Greninja carries too hard. Like it's literally all Greninja.
It's just given too much.
You don't
love.
see Chestnut. Even though I love both the design, I love Chestnut, but like it doesn't put enough weight to outthrow Primarina, Decidueye, and Incineroar. It just does not.
Oh, compared to Gen 7, no. Gen 6 is way better. Gen 6 is way better than Gen 7.
I prefer overall the Gen 7 stars.
Because look, Gen 6
that's so bad.
If Greninja's not there, who's there?
Okay, also, you have to take into account that Brionne is one of the ugliest Pokemon. Brionne is hideous. It's so bad.
I don't like Brionne at all.
We don't talk about Brionne.
And Dartrix is just just shit. Like Dartrix
don't talk about Brionne.
That's true.
So it's like
Dartrix, the edgy teenager.
He's a prick.
Every
time I had to play with Dartrix, I was like, this guy's just a prick. I don't want to use him. I just put him in the back of the EXP share. I was like, fuck him till he evolves because he's a prick. Like, you send him out and he's just like this slime ball. He's like, ugh, what happened to you, Rowlet? You were so adorable and then you became a wanker.
Yeah.
Teenagers. I don't like teenagers. Why would I like him?
Also, real question, why did Gen 7 find a massive need to turn a pretty cool grass flying type that everyone was hyped about into a ghost?
Because that was based on
I wasn't totally against it.
It has a cool design and stuff, but it's like
it's just
it
was just underwhelming.
It has a pretty good cool design.
Decidueye is still the best in Gen 7, but it's underwhelming. Like to me, Decidueye is no better than Chestnut, and yet it's the worst of its generation. Best of its generation, sorry. Yeah. Chestnut is very clear second best, and so
I really like Delphox, so I put 6 above 7, but I
agree.
Would be willing to compromise.
No, do not compromise. 6. No,
7,
you haven't got the hang of
7,
this.
6.
We got to be dictators. You just got to shout.
7, 6.
Just because I hate Gen 6 that much, I'm lenient about it.
No, because look, think about it. If Greninja's not there, don't include Greninja.
I like the other two.
What does Gen 6 have?
I like the
other
other
two. What does Gen 6 have?
All right, take out Decidueye, and Gen 7 has the 2 bottom tier starters. There are no starters worse than Incineroar and Primarina. How can
Incineroar's not the worst? That's not the worst.
Primarina's like Mabay.
It's shit.
Primarina's okay.
Primarina's okay.
Incineroar is the biggest disgrace that has happened.
Yeah.
It's because he's just he stands there. That's the only reason I don't like that.
Not even Intimidate saves it. Not even Intimidate saves it.
Also,
hold on. Can we talk about this? Why does these games have like some weird desire to turn like these mons into like occupations. Like why's it got to be wrestler? Like I don't
Why
know.
is it a wrestler, not a fighting type?
Yeah, but it was just like an
fire,
Obviously.
I like the fire doctor's pretty dope.
Yeah, but it's just the clickbait Pokemon. It's let's make headlines before the game comes out by sending the community into a crazy frenzy, making them think there's gonna be another firefighting, and then we'll go, oh no, it isn't, and it's just it's literal clickbait in Pokemon form.
I also
why would you want another firefighting? We already have already.
I wouldn't, but I'm saying they intentionally trolled people to build hype for the game. Incineroar was clickbait to build hype for the game. It's like fucking. It's shit. It's ugly. And also, problem Primarina, when you look at the Gen 1 starters, none of them are like gendered. The same with all the way through. You can pick, like, you can be a guy and pick Meganium, you can be a girl and pick Meganium, you can be a guy and pick Swan, but you can be a girl and pick Swan. But Primarina was so obviously meant to target young girls. It was weird.
It was.
And like, I'm not saying like, yeah,
and
that's fine. I'm not disputing that. But to
Exactly.
6-year-old guys, like
Only
6-year-old
Primarina
guys aren't gonna pick it. And it was like, but why are you trying to say that all the? Because then people were like, well, all the others have been aimed at boys, and I was like, no, they haven't. What are you talking about? Like, Torterra is adorable. Anyone can pick that. Like,
Matt, I'm on your side, but I think I'm on your side, but I think Fennekin is just as guilty.
which one?
Fennekin is the same thing. Fennekin is too.
I think Fennekin is just
They-
as guilty.
they made it for female.
I think
even though I
Fennekin
pick
is
Fennekin,
just as guilty.
I picked Fennekin because it was just so cute, but then once it evolves, it's like
I agree with you,
Why?
but I
Maybe.
think
It's
the
the
same
same
goes
thing.
for Fennekin.
Maybe.
Fennekin
I
goes
didn't.
to
I didn't see it with Fennekin. I've never thought about it. Like, I just didn't seem gendered to me in the same way. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Because Braixen definitely in Pokken is supposed to be like the one for the girls to pick.
For the sake of argument
Ridiculous.
and for the sake of moving along, I personally think 6 is way better than 7, but I do think that I can give legitimacy to the argument that 7 is solid.
Yeah, I take 7 over 6.
Because I do think
6?
I do agree with what Dredd is saying in that Greninja does carry it.
Like we know that Snivy carries too, but he also has Samurott helping him. Right, Superior Samurott helped that, but Gen 6 there's nothing that helps it. Like Chestnut kind of helps it, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Quilladin. Look how cute Quilladin is.
I don't like Chestnut.
Yeah,
I don't like Chestnut.
I know it's cute, but it doesn't carry as hard as Samurott does with Snivy.
I love Decidueye.
It does that. Like,
Decidueye is cool. I like Decidueye. I was just disappointed when I actually used it.
I don't mind Primarina.
So our final order for stars is Gen 4, Gen 1, Gen 3, Gen 2, Gen 5, Gen 7, Gen 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Seems like
Second category.
Strong disagree.
Pseudo legendaries.
I now live in San Marino.
Pseudo legendaries.
Hold on,
Now,
Let's go from bottom to top.
Hold on,
Actually,
wait,
let's
are
go
we doing pseudo or are we doing regular first?
just pseudo first.
Pseudo.
Oh,
Only
okay.
pseudo.
Sorry,
Pseudo
then save
legendaries.
it. When legendaries come up,
Okay.
let me talk first because I wrote some stuff down. But
Okay.
Pseudo
is fine.
legendaries.
I have
Right.
to say right now.
Is this all going
place,
in? Is this all going in one
place?
video? Are we splitting?
one
this?
video, one video.
Oh, okay.
It's all
One video, yeah.
Okay, I gotta say this. If you don't pick Gen
I'm ready.
3 first place, something's actually wrong with
We
you.
have
Yeah,
to.
Gen
We
3
have to.
has
Gen
to
3
go
has to go.
first.
What was the
This is
question?
Metagross
I didn't
and
listen to the question.
Salamence.
I didn't listen to the
Salamence is the
question.
best dragon. Don't at me. And Metagross is amazing.
Pseudo, Matt. Pseudo
Pseudo.
legendaries.
Okay.
Salamence
Uh,
and Metagross is the best.
Three
Gen
has
Salamence.
2 of them. 3 has 2.
Gen 3
Legendaries
has 2, and they're
Pseudo.
both amazing. They're
Yeah.
both amazing.
And they're both super viable, and they have a freaking Mega which is uber busted. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Hold on. Stop with the megas. Stop with the megas.
What's
Stop.
Gen 4?
Because not all have
What's the
megas.
Gen 4?
Garchomp,
Garchomp.
my boy Chomp, but he's not first place because he's a Metagross and a Salamence are right there in the same gen.
Oh,
Right there.
we've lost swap.
Oh.
He's gone.
We're back.
That's 3. Back to 4. There we go.
Sorry.
Okay.
So we all agree
Well-
Gen 3 is guaranteed first place.
Yeah, it has to be because
And
it's
they're
got
both
an
there.
unfair advantage by having 2. Like, but yeah.
Yeah,
it
no,
has
that's
to
the
be.
last
Well,
one. If it was just
yeah,
only
it's-
Metagross or Salamence and like
Yeah.
they moved
I-
over
like-
to a different gen, then you could argue. But this one is just 2 pseudos and 1 gen. That's just too
Yeah.
busted. You
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because
Okay,
they're both
in
top
second
tier
place,
as well.
Second place goes to Gen 4. Garchomp.
I agree.
Garchomp
No
takes
way!
No. Garchomp is
Sarkeesian.
third. Garchomp is
Who
third.
What?
takes over Garchomp? Who
What?
takes over Garchomp?
Hydreigon is like second best dragon.
You're
What?
crazy.
Here's why.
Crazy.
Here's why.
Hydreigon's amazing.
It's
Here's
not
why.
better than
Hello?
Garchomp.
Crazy.
No, it's not.
Here's why.
Crazy.
Here's why.
Hydreigon and Garchomp are like Hydreigon and Garchomp like
No.
this. And Hydreigon's like
You're all
This-
Then you should
so
be able to
wrong.
compromise. Then you should be able to compromise.
Number
We gave you
2.
Gen 5.
Number 2 is Tyranitar. It's the
No,
only
I
I
one.
respect that. I respect
No,
It's
that.
the only one
respect
that's
that.
not like a
I respect
dragon, I
Tyranitar,
think,
but-
apart
Yeah,
from
he's-
Metagross.
Yeah,
And
but
it was
I give you
so
this.
cool back in the day to have something that was not a dragon type and that powerful was like insane.
This is my hold on. Can I make a point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I like Garchomp the most out of 4, 2, and 5 because, you know, it's badass, but also like it's one of the Pseudos that you're able to have the entirety of the game. It's not something you randomly get at the end.
Gym. You get after the
That's
third
too
gym.
early for a powerhouse.
However,
I agree. I think that makes it
no,
worse.
because it
No.
evolves later.
You have to find it. You have to
It
find
evolves
it. It's
later.
hard to find too. It's hard to find.
It is hard to find. It
takes
still makes that hard.
forever to evolve.
Here's my thing.
It evolves like what, like level 36 something? It takes forever to evolve.
I respect Tyranitar and I respect Hydreigon, but I don't like Hydreigon because you don't know about Hydreigon until you're like
The Victory Road.
10 hours through the game.
But I love that.
Yeah.
To me, like the mythos that goes with that, the idea of not finding out, like I loved going to Elite Four and seeing Pokemon that I had no idea existed because it just made the Elite Four even more prestigious, even more untouchable to me. So to me, like that adds to the Pseudo because it's like it's not something that any trainer can get on Route 5 as they go through the game. It's something that only the very best have.
It's also something that gets, but also like Tyranitar gets you can't find Larvitar until you beat the game.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Garchomp the same thing. You when first time you played through Sinnoh, you never knew about Garchomp. You only found out about Garchomp once you battle Cynthia. That's the only how you find out. You're not gonna go find a random cave by yourself.
But people will tell you you can find it yourself. Like it's not that difficult.
So like the best game.
It's pretty difficult.
But it's still possible. That's the point. Like it's not possible.
You accidentally stumble upon it. That's and you can't do it. They hide it really well. They hide it
all the
really
other pseudos are like very rare to find, and Garchomp just under a bridge.
The reason that
his encounter rate is it's high though.
The reason that I think Garchomp is so like
design. Oh, forget about encountering too, because I think we're still on the same level. I think just Garchomp is a better design. It looks cooler.
I'd give Garchomp third place.
Nah,
I think it's third.
Nah. I don't think Garchomp looks cooler, but I think that Cynthia makes Garchomp what it is. I think it's like the most like associated pseudo legendary with any one trainer in like the franchise. Like I don't think you think of like maybe Lance, and maybe Steven and Metagross. But I would argue Cynthia even more. Like Cynthia is considered the ultimate champion, and her like her best Pokemon is Garchomp. So like in theory, the best champion in the whole franchise, her best Pokemon is Garchomp, which I think elevates it like so much more than it rightfully should do, arguably.
Okay, but like the thing is,
I will compromise for third. I will compromise for third. But
like
second would have to be Tyranitar.
Yeah,
if
I agree. I agree.
I don't think Hydreigon. I don't think Hydreigon's second. It's cool because it's dark.
On design alone, I could put Hydreigon number 1, but I don't think that's it. Like just it. Like I think there's more to it than that.
I put Hydreigon as 4. I put Hydra as 4.
So number 2 is Tyranitar. We're doing Tyranitar number 2 or Garchomp?
Yeah, Tyranitar.
Tyranitar.
Yeah.
I'll compromise for Tyranitar.
What do you want, Jake? What do you want?
Jake's gonna say Tyranitar's the worst now.
Between 2 or 4? Ditto or Garchomp?
Pick it.
On my list, Garchomp's higher than on my list.
Garchomp has to be top 3.
I agree.
Both Tyranitar and Garchomp.
And I think the Cynthia thing that I said, by the way, I actually think that's like when I say it, I wasn't trying to detract from Garchomp in that way. Like, I think that it's brilliant that they did that. I think it's fantastic that they helped the Pokemon in that way and supported it. But I think that like Tyranitar, I don't know, just better to me.
We're agreeing on Tyranitar as number 2. I think 3 of us agree on Tyranitar as number 2.
What do you want, Jake? What do you want? Because I put them because when I was going through this list, I was looking at the pseudos.
No, they're just cool.
I was like,
it's not all that.
I was like, okay, Chomp and Tito cannot go lower than I was like, Chomp and T-Tech cannot go under 3rd. They have to be 2nd and 3rd. I'm down with making Garchomp 2nd or 3rd. It doesn't matter.
It's the uniqueness of Tyranitar as a pseudo legendary that puts it there.
I think it's unique.
Yeah, it's really good. It has 8 weaknesses, but it's still super viable. It has 8 weaknesses. Yes, it has 8 weaknesses. He has 8 weaknesses, but his defenses are mega high, so it makes him viable. He has like 110 defense, 100 special defense, 100 HP. That's why it makes him like so super viable. You can use him in game, even though it takes him forever, like all suitors to level up. But
also, if Matt was judging shit based on how much it's carried itself throughout the years, especially within Smogon and Tears and all that stuff, I think both Garchomp and Tyranitar have mattered more than Hydreigon.
I don't think that should be
you for like years.
I don't want to give anything points for having carried itself. What I more want to do is say that like some things will be forgotten because they haven't. And that doesn't mean that they were bad when they came out, but they haven't stood the test of time. And even though I don't want to be a victim of like competitive, I think it's just happens subconsciously. If something is bad and it just falls out of relevance, and then you start to think it's worse than other things.
I want to propose...
I'm willing to compromise if we put Hydreigon in 4th place.
I will compromise with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I need to like back out.
I put Dragonite as 4th place. I put
I
Dragonite as mid.
I don't care 2 or 4 either way. As long as
I agree. I would agree that it goes Gen 1,
2, 4,
Gen
5.
2, Gen 4, Gen 5. I would agree. Especially because Gen 5 like...
So Gen 3 in first.
So Gen 3 is first, Gen 4 second, Gen 2.
No, Gen 2 second, Gen 4
Gen 2
third.
second, Gen 4 is third. Yeah.
3, 4, 2, 5.
Yeah, and then
no 3, 2, 4, 5.
I put Dragonite. What's Aquarius going?
Trying to get a connection.
3, 4, 2, 5.
Oh, okay.
So 3, 4, 2 we've agreed on.
No, 3, 2,
3,
4.
4, 2 is definitely.
3, 2,
3, 2,
4.
4.
3, 2,
3, 2, 4.
3, 2, 4. I'm trying to take away my Tita.
3, 2, 4.
That will fight you. That's Barney the
And then
dinosaur.
Hydreigon has to be next.
I agree.
I'm not putting any lower than 4th place.
I agree.
I'm not putting him any lower than 4th place.
I agree. I agree. Hydreigon's next. I agree.
Hydreigon has to
we
be
can
4th.
hear you, Aquarius. We can hear you. I could hear you.
I just want to make sure because
it was freezing. It seems to like.
Yeah, we good. I put Dragonite because I just put him as a mid. Like I know Dragonite is not the best pseudo.
I put Dragonite.
I just put him as a mid. I put him as a mid.
I'd say Dragonite's right
with 4 or
underneath
5.
Hydreigon.
I say 4 or 5.
Dragonite
I'm down with that.
I put Dragonite as
I'm down with 4 or 5. Okay, so then that means Yeah, I say Hydreigon. I like Hydreigon.
Hydreigon 4th?
Yeah, Hydreigon's 4th. And Dragonite's 5.
Yeah.
What do you put with Dragonite? What do you put with Dragonite, dog?
You missed about Gudra?
Yes. Yes. What? Gudra? What the hell?
You find Gudra in a swamp.
I'd put
Gudra. What the hell?
I'd put Gudra number 1 if this was my list. That is a good boy.
What?
I love Gudra,
Okay.
but
I
know
love
it's not
Gudra too,
popular.
but
I know I'm alone here.
It's not. I
It's
love Gudra too,
adorable.
but it's like, come on, bro.
It's adorable.
Dragonite's right there.
But
Komodo looks amazing.
Komodo, I was
I know,
about to say
I love
Komodo. Komodo is better than
looks
Dragonite.
amazing.
Komodo is like
Design
design-wise.
Design-wise.
And
What is Komodo's shtick? It just has scales.
no, it's like a warrior. It's armor, isn't it? It's like a
Komodo
warrior.
dragon. Komodo dragon.
Yeah,
It's a
and
Komodo
it's
dragon.
got like scales like armor, and also it's a totem Pokemon, so it's actually one of the most relevant pseudo legendaries in the actual story and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's really
and he has his own Z move too.
Yeah,
Komodo
this is true.
But no, I put Dragonite over
I like
Komodo.
Dragonite more than Komodo.
I put Dragonite higher.
They're close, but I'm still Komodo.
They're close. All the suitors are close in my mind. Besides the top 3, besides Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 2, and Gen 5, I put the other ones at like around the same level. That's where I put
Dragonite
everybody
is
else.
the only pseudo legendary that is the worst looking Pokemon in its own evolutionary line. That's a fact. Dratini and
To be
Dragonite
fair-
look better than Dragonite, and it's the only one.
You know fun fact? You know fun fact? The one who drew like the Gen 1 starters, she's the one that also drew Dratini and Dragonair. But someone else drew Dragonite.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
why it's different. That's a fun fact. I learned about it last night. I was going to Twitter and I saw that for some random
She's a
reason.
better artist.
Well,
than
it should
the
have been Dratini, Dragonair, Gyarados. They look the same. And then,
It was supposed to be a different design for Dragonite, but the other artist took over for her,
It's so
and
weird.
she made it like a little bit more menacing. So that's why it looks.
She didn't make it more
Menacing.
menacing. She made it fat.
Wait.
That's not
Wait,
menacing.
wait,
She
wait,
made it
wait,
obese. She just got
Yeah,
Dragonite,
but
made it
that
like a
was kind of the
pizza.
point.
Hold on, because I was cutting out, so I feel a bit out of the loop. So,
Okay.
Can you hear me right now, Matt?
Yeah,
I know I've been sort of laggy.
Yeah.
Nah, you good. You good.
So far we've agreed 3, 2, 4, 5, right?
3, 2,
Yes.
4, 5, yeah.
Yeah.
We're discussing
So,
7 or 1.
I
for
would
next
say
spot.
7 next. I would say
Okay.
7 next.
I would say
I'd
7 as well.
1.
I'd say 7, 1, 6.
I like 1 more than 7, but I understand the logic behind 7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would say 7, 1, 6.
Yes,
Oh,
I completely
Gudra
agree.
at the
100%.
I'm
Hold
fine.
on.
Okay, I'm fine
You
with
find
that.
Gudra. You
100%.
find Gudra in a dark swamp.
I love
with,
it.
like Carnivine.
It's a swamp.
Like
I
Carnivine.
love it.
Water
No.
Star as well.
Okay,
Water
And
Star.
it
down
has to
with
be
that
raining to evolve it and stuff. It's so
I'm down with
cool. I
Dragonite
love
being
Gudra.
6th. So
7, 1, 6,
Dragonite,
yeah?
then Gudra.
Yeah.
Gudra
Oh,
number
Gen 6 has
1.
been shafted.
It's number 1 in my heart.
Jesus, last in both.
Because Gen
My
6
God.
sucked. That's why.
Gen 6
No.
was absolutely so bad.
No.
God, I
Gen
feel like
6 was
No.
they had so much time to perfect it, but they just
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's still my second favorite gen.
Okay,
No
so
regrets.
Psuedo Dittos, just to clarify, I've got this right. Gen 3, 2, 4, 5, 7, 1, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't listen.
Next category.
Legendaries.
Legendaries.
So can I start this one? Can I start this one?
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all yours.
So I wrote this down because I thought it was relatively relevant for the legendary conversation, is the number of legendaries that were added for each game. Obviously the number doesn't matter, but it's a question of what happens, right? So I know you're saying 5 right here, but I have a larger
That's
point.
got the most, isn't it?
No. Gen 7 has the most. Gen 7
has like 18.
But do Ultra Beasts count as legendaries?
Even if you don't count Ultra Beasts, they still have more.
They still have more without Ultra Boost. Ultra Beast makes a lot more.
Nah, just
4 Tapus.
Actually, I have it right here. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you right here. Gen 7.
Yeah.
They have Type No. They have Sylvali. They have.
You can't go Type No.
No, that's a legendary. That's counted as a legendary. That's counted as a legendary. Yeah, it is.
It is counted as legendary, but
it does. It's a legendary.
Yeah.
So
okay, regardless,
hold on.
Super weird.
Hold on, because let me go through the numbers. I didn't even count Type Null in what I was counting, but Gen 1 added 5, Gen 2 added 6, Gen 3 added 10, Gen 4 added 13, Gen 5 also added 13, 6 added 6, and 7, including the Ultra Beast, not including Type Null, added 21. If you take out the Ultra Beast, they still added 15, which is more than Gen 5. I argue Gen 7 is the best because every single legendary in Gen 7 has a level of plot.
Listen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter just by the quantity. It doesn't matter about how much they have. It also matters about like
the mons in general.
The mons in general, how they design, look, and everything like that.
I agree.
I love Gen 7 has really good things too.
I agree. If you go to every single mon in Gen, first of all, they added the Ultra Beast category, which I think is very important. But also, I think it's very important.
Those don't count though.
I think they do. If mythical Pokemon count, I think that Ultra Beasts do too.
Wait, mythicals? We're counting mythicals.
We're counting.
Yeah, we're counting them too.
Yeah, legendary. Yeah.
Then
because Ultra Beasts are their own. No, Ultra Beast is their own like setting though. It's their own different category. We can't count those because those are just interdimensional mons. That's why.
Because you can count multiple of them in the games. You can count like 5 or 6.
Then we need to keep this in mind. We need to keep this in mind for the fourth topic of the rest of the decks. If we're not counting Ultra Beast here, then they have to massively count the next one.
That's the next one.
So let me make a larger point. Let me make a larger point then, because even if you take Ultra Beast out, I would actually argue that Gen 5 is not number 1, and here's why. Gen 5
it's not number 1. It's like the worst.
Here's why.
What?
Even though Gen 5 added a lot of legendaries, they have no coherent story in what they are or why they're there.
They suck.
All of the Keldeo, Cobalion, Terrakion just show up in caves and have no larger story behind them. All the mythical Pokemon have no reason why they're compared to others.
In game, like in game.
In game they do. In game they have the swords of Justice, even though Keldeo.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, but what did they actually like? Yeah. But like, what do they actually like? What's their relevance?
The story behind it is when the world was like falling apart and the universe falling apart, like back in the day with Reshiram and Zekrom going at it. Those 4 mons were the ones that are helping humanity come back. So
I do not give a fuck. Gen 4.
Oh, that's interesting. That's valid.
That's the lore behind those mons. Besides behind the horses, that's their story. That they're there to help the humans rise up. And to like when they were having troubles, they came out.
It's still not the best though. It's still not the best.
That's the story.
The best is Gen 2.
The story behind it, yeah.
The best is Gen 2. It absolutely can't be disputed.
Gen 2.
It absolutely can't be disputed. Lugia, incredible. Fantastic film as well. Ho-Oh,
Gen 2,
phenomenal.
I put Gen 2 as the second worst.
Gen 2's like mid.
I put it as the second worst.
Okay. Let me explain. Hear me out. Let me explain.
4 in first place.
Not before in first place.
You have
first.
You have
Four is first for me.
you have the three beasts.
You just have to.
You have the three
Put four in
beasts that
first place.
actually are linked really, really nicely to like Ho-Oh and Lugia and that with the whole resurrection thing and how they're like these revived things. You have like Suicune being the only one that gets like a mascot of his own game when it's one of the legendary trio, which is really, really cool. So they're like really well developed compared to
Giratina, Rayquaza.
Giratina.
No, they're not part of the three. Like the Moltres,
Yes, they are.
Zap. No,
What?
the Moltres, Zapdos, like
What?
the three beasts I'm talking about. Like you
Oh,
know what I mean?
triple.
The trios. Because
So what?
they're the
Yeah.
best. Because they're the trio that are developed the most compared to the Swords of Justice, compared to the
Reggies.
Birds.
Reggies.
Reggie's suck balls. Like they're
The
terrible.
Lake Spirits.
They're
The
so
Lake
bad.
Spirits.
The legs
The
are good. The legs are good.
Spirits.
But they're
Let
not.
me make
They're
not as developed as two.
Let me make a larger point. I think without the Gen 4 legendaries, the other legendaries would not have a coherent storyline.
God himself.
Actually, wait up.
Yeah, but also Gen 4
If
was the
we
point
going
where the
based off-
designs went downhill massively for me. Like Dialga and Palkia was so much more like
Okay,
out there and over the top, and like they were these
So,
grand concepts
Can
of like
we just
space
agree
and
to
time
put Gen
and
4
stuff.
as number 1 and ignore everything Matt's saying right now?
Heatran's amazing.
Heathens.
Reggie Gigas is
Heathens.
amazing.
Wait, but there's also an
Shaman.
argument for Gen 3 as well.
I don't think there is.
Yeah,
No,
because
no,
look,
no, 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 no.
Ar-
because look,
Arceus
when
is
you
dire.
As number 1?
No, listen.
Gen-
As number 1.
Jeffrey,
Seriously.
I know, listen,
Jeffrey
yeah,
maybe third or fourth, but not first.
Yeah,
Not
but
first.
I'm not saying first, but it could be
Okay,
high
well,
up there.
let's talk about
Because
first.
look,
Let's talk about
if
first.
if
Let's
you-
talk about
That's-
first.
Yeah, but
Let's
listen,
get first out of the way.
I'm saying this because when you look at Gen 1 and Gen 2, they didn't add like stupid powerful legendaries besides Mewtwo. You can't freaking Mewtwo. And
Yeah.
Gen 3 comes along, they add a freaking Kyogre, a Groudon,
Sick.
a Rayquaza, which breaks the game.
Oh, God,
So
lag.
in turn, that means the other legendaries they have to make Ash stronger too.
I reason about
I'm just base forms.
I don't care.
Based
Kyogre-
on the-
I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. I don't really care. I think that it's undisputable that 4 is the best because
No.
it literally grants the rest of the
No,
timeline.
no,
I'm
No.
saying 4 is
Cool.
one too. I'm
No.
saying 4 is
Four
best
as well.
one too.
no,
Jake,
I'm saying four
No.
as well.
no.
There we go.
Gen 4.
It's
How you gonna
four.
wait?
No.
How you gonna?
It's
Okay,
four.
okay,
No.
listen.
It's 4.
If you
Gen
wait,
4 's so bad.
What do you want?
It's so
listen, what do
bad.
you want
It's
for?
4.
What do
It's
you
so
want for number
bad.
one?
He wants
Wait,
Gen
wait,
2.
Wait, listen.
He wants
want
Gen 2.
Gen 2's the
wants
best.
Gen 2.
Gen 2's the
He wants
best. Gen
Gen
1's the second best. Gen 3's the
He
third
wants Gen-
best.
The argument is invalid.
Okay,
What?
hold up.
Gen 2 is number 1.
Listen,
It's
wait,
invalid.
pause.
No,
Time
no,
out.
no, no, no.
Shocking.
Time out.
Literally, we've picked the
Alright.
worst generations and put
We
them at the
can-
top. I don't understand.
Terrible.
I don't understand.
You've given
Time
me the
out,
Gen
time
5. We're not being
time
deep
out.
for now.
Okay.
Again.
We could
Hold on.
also go based
Hold
off the lore as well. We could also go based off the lore, right? So we have the
It's
lore
tied
for
in.
Gen 2
Backstory as well.
and Gen 4's lore. Okay, the only lore that there is in Gen 2 is when Ash saw the Ho-Oh. That's also part of lore in the main games as well, where Ho-Oh is like a big figure in that whole gen.
But you have
Right,
like the
and
whole
you also
burn
have
power and all that
The
stuff.
three
You have a lot
dogs,
going on.
yeah, that also those two. The three dogs, which fan theory is all the Vaporeon, Flareon, and
That's
Jolteon.
stupid.
When they died inside there, they resurrected.
That, what do you
into
mean that's
Raichu,
stupid?
into
That's
Suicune.
awesome. That's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
How is that
That's cool.
stupid?
And
It links them
Lugia's
so
lore-
well to Ho-Oh and Lugia. Like, I don't understand
And
it.
then
Rather
and
than
then Lugia's
Moltres, it's
lore
just there
is-
like, man, I'm a big chicken. Like, it gives you a proper link.
Okay, listen.
We're not
and
arguing Gen 1.
I know,
Wait,
it's just
hold
the
on,
first one that came to my head.
Dread, I don't know why you went on this tirade because we're agreeing number 1 first of all. Can we agree it's 4
Yeah,
just
Two.
to move
Yes,
on?
Gen 2, I agree. I'll let,
That's like-
I'll let the green say I.
I'm trying to explain it to
good.
Matt. I'm trying to explain it to
Okay.
Matt.
It's
that
3v1 for
the
Gen 4
lore
first
is
place.
also takes a big
Jake, did
part
you
as well.
4 as number 1? Because I don't want to have this conversation continue because it's a waste of time.
Because I like Heatran, like Reggie Gigas, like Shaman, like Giratina, like...
Cresselia, Darkrai,
like-
Arceus, Jake.
It's so
Lake
bad.
Because they
And
don't
also,
like that, but...
the
they're
lore
It's
behind
so
Gen 4 is
I don't
bigger too.
oversaturated.
Whatever he's talking about is dumb.
And Gen 4's lore is
it's
way bigger
4.
too.
Yeah,
Compared
Gen 4
compared
has...
to
Isn't it?
Gen 4's
Gen
lore
4 is
compared to other
Hold on,
6
hold on.
generations.
Isn't it?
Matt, as
Lore
much
is
as
way
you
better,
disagree
too.
with this,
Gen
we have
4 is
outvoted
ri-
Jake so many times. We got it.
Yeah,
You have-
but that was Jake. This is me. I don't care about him.
You're more irrelevant than Jake. So
I'll just stop recording it then. Fine.
And plus,
Fine.
if you look
You're
at it like in
shorter.
a standpoint with lore too, Gen 4 has the best lore out of every single
Fuck off with
generation.
the
there
lore.
is.
No,
We're
it
done.
doesn't.
We're done with the
Arceus
lore. We're
Arceus
done with the
sucks.
lore.
Like,
We're
why
done
do we
with
need
the
a god Pokemon?
Okay,
It's so
We're
bad.
not budging. We're not budging on Gen
Second
We're
4.
not
place.
budging Gen 4.
Okay.
So bad.
Where are we on
Matt,
second
so-
place?
It's a fucking
Where are we on
llama.
second place?
It's a
Okay,
big
where are we on
fucking
second
llama.
place?
Second place,
So bad.
Let me actually look over the legends to see which one I want for second
Shame
place.
is just a hedgehog.
I'm leaning.
Just a random
I
hedgehog.
just want I want Gen 5 top 3.
No, Shame has
Darkrai.
a big
I don't even
role
know
too
what
in
Darkrai
it.
is. Darkrai is just.
I want Gen 5 in second or third.
The Darkrai's lore is pretty dope too.
Cresselia is just like a weird moon thing. They just
Yeah,
suck.
yeah.
No,
I mean,
I
can give you Cresselia, but that's it. That's probably.
I like their
lore as well, so
designs,
it's
but
like
they just randomly
story, too.
oversaturated, overly done legendaries.
I
Like,
don't care.
No.
It's good.
No.
if you
It-
throw
it's
like
not,
I
if
said,
you
like I
throw
said,
enough
numbers.
shit at a
Like I
wall,
said.
some of it will stick. Fucking hell, let's just give 25 legendaries. Some of them will be good. Fuck. Next game, let's have 8 starters, and that would be the best gen for starters too.
I'm sorry. I don't think Gen 4 is a bad legendary. I can't think of one bad legendary.
There's not
for Gen
one
4.
bad. Okay, the
Sure.
one I'd give you is a late trio. Those are like.
They're cool. I like them.
Late
Oh,
trio
yes.
and
I
left.
have them
Oh,
too.
it's
Actually,
Middle of
wait.
the road. Middle.
Wait.
Oh,
The worst is Fiona. That's the worst one.
Manaphy Fiona, okay.
Fiona's the worst one.
They're
Not
just
Manaphy. Fiona's the
irrelevant.
worst one.
Arceus is
dope,
bad.
but Fiona's.
Arceus is bad.
Arceus is
Giratina,
God.
like when it's not on
Arceus
its
is
feet,
God.
is bad.
Wait, how you gonna say Arceus and Giratina is bad when
How
Arceus
many
is
levels
literally,
is that for?
is literally God?
We're
and
agreeing on
That's
Gen
why it's
4.
bad.
Literally the
Thank
devil.
you. That's why it's bad. There should not be a god Pokemon. What the fuck? That's
Why not?
ridiculous.
What do you mean it should be God?
Then there's no such thing as a story. Then how you gonna have a story? Who created the first Pokemon? Who?
I'm
is the first
sorry,
Yeah.
Pokemon?
my real life is a
Big
story,
Bang.
but I can't put God in a fucking ball and carry him around as a 10-year-old child. Doesn't mean my life doesn't exist. Doesn't mean I need it to somehow validate my timeline. As a 10-year-old, I can't imprison God and wander
No.
around with him. This
Yeah,
isn't
this is
fucking
a game,
Aladdin.
it's
I
a
can't
real
rub my
life.
lamp and get anything I want. Like, what?
It's not real life. Hello.
Yes, but your argument is like you need it to justify it. Well, if it's not real life, I don't need anything to
I'm not
justify it. Arceus is terrible.
What are we talking? Are we
You're-
still on
We're
this?
still
Yeah.
on Gen 4.
Okay.
Can we
No,
move
we're
on?
not on this. Gen
Can
4
we
is the
move
one.
on?
We're
Gen
moving
4.
on. We're moving on.
Shocking.
We're
It's
moving on.
Shocking.
We're
It's
moving
on
on.
the
We're
paper.
moving on.
Shocking.
It's over. We're
Gen
done.
4
We're
is on
done.
the paper.
Move on.
It's
We're
official.
moving on. We're moving on right now.
Moving on.
Okay.
We're done.
Moving
Second
on.
place. Second place.
Gen
I
2.
would say second place goes to.
Gen 2.
I'm looking over the legendaries right now,
Gen 2.
and
As
Gen
long
2.
as Gen 5 's
Gen 2.
happy.
I think Gen 5 pops out the most to me. The other ones, I think Gen 5 pops out. more.
I'd give 5 second or third.
Heathens.
Yeah.
2.
I think 5 goes to second.
I'll
Two.
compromise. As much as I think I would compromise for 2 is 2 actually. Matt
There
brought up some
there
good
is
points.
not a bad legendary in Gen 2. There is not a bad one. They're all good. They all have their own storylines.
also,
They
like,
all have their own
6,
lore.
though.
They're all linked. They're all interesting. There's no weak linking.
Not Lugia.
Gen,
Lugia has
Gen
no
5
lore in
brought a
it.
lot.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
the
they all
film.
sucked though.
Lugia has no lore.
But the film,
Lugia
the
has no
film's sick.
backstory.
The film.
The film's so good.
The film.
But that had like nothing to do with like the actual like background story about
part of
Lugia. All we
Pokemon,
know is
though.
that he's a guardian. That's literally all we know about him.
Yeah, but then you
Lugia's
watch
just
the
a
film
guardian.
and you
The
find it all
kimono
out.
girls. Though? The kimono girls.
Yeah, the
girls?
kimono girls. And isn't he
Okay,
supposed to
okay.
like balance out Ho-Oh? I haven't played Gen 2 in ages, but isn't he supposed to like balance out Ho-Oh, and Ho-Oh has a really good story, so I'm assuming Lugia has like a decent...
No.
I had...
By the way,
He doesn't
I had
balance
to
Toad,
anything.
I'm not
One
gonna
of
lie, I
Lugia's
didn't have
just
Silver, so I'm
the
struggling.
guardian of the sea. That's all he is.
That's a good thing to
hold on.
be.
Let me make a
I
good
would like
point.
to be
It's
that.
Let me make a point that's going to defend Matt. Let me make it a point that's going to defend Matt. Part of the reason I like Gen 4 so much is the distortion world with Giratina.
Same.
I actually think that outside of that, I think Gen 2 has the coolest settings for legendaries after
no,
Gen
that's
4.
not.
Yeah, the towers and stuff is sick.
After Gen 4, okay.
Whirl Islands
I
and
give
the
you that.
tower thing, it's cool. It's
But
fucking
then,
cool.
then if you're gonna go by that, then same thing goes to Gen 3.
Nah, Gen 3 is
What,
just
same
like a
thing goes to Gen
cave.
3
Gen
then?
3 is boring.
Gen
It's just a
3?
ca- I love Gen
It's like a
3,
cave.
but it's just a cave. Like, it's just
Yeah.
the same with Gen 1, it's just a cave. Just a, oh
Where'd you
fuck,
get
here's
the
a Zubat, here's the fucking destroyer
Okay,
of
one
worlds
thing
next to
is
Zubat. Oh, wow. It's like, it's
I
just a
put
cave.
2 as 2. I'll put 2 as 2. I actually had it as second to last, but Matt's convinced me.
Because there's not a bad, even if you say Lugia's lore is slightly weak, the
I
others
put
all have
second
great lore,
last.
and Lugia's design is still fantastic. There's no
I
bad
kind
design.
of got convinced. I'm convinced. Gen 2.
Then
I
I put Gen 3. Then I had second place as Gen 5, but now
Gen
I'll move
3,
to
right? Gen
then.
3 is
Gen
fantastic.
5?
But you
3.
can't ignore the Reggies.
I make a
How
point
can
for
Gen
Gen
3 ever be that high with the Reggies? All 3 Reggies are
Can I make a
completely
point?
terrible. So they can't be that
Can
high.
I make a point for Gen
But they have their own purpose too.
I like
But they're so
Reggies.
boring.
Dial-up.
I
But they're
think
so
Gen
boring.
5 added.
They're so boring.
Let me make a point for Gen
Go.
5. I think Gen 5 added a ton, but it didn't add anything that was like cool. I just don't think any of the Gen 5 ones are like that cool. It's just like cool because they added a lot. Like that's why people like it.
No, Gen 5 has some good lore. The only ones that don't have a story for Gen 5 is Genesect and Meloetta and Kyurem. They're the only ones with no story in Gen 5.
Yeah, but Reshiram and Zekrom don't really have a story.
Huh? The whole Black to White suit is Kyurem.
Hold on.
Yeah, but they don't really have a story. They're just powerful. They don't have a story. There's a difference between being in the story and having a story.
Yeah.
Also,
there's no story between them.
Something important in this.
You're lagging. I cannot hear anything.
We name legendaries than we do the other ones.
You're lagging.
What did you say, sir?
Okay.
You're back.
I'll give you Gen 2 for second if we get Gen 5 in first place.
Sorry.
Nah, Gen 5.
What were you saying?
Gen 5's not good.
Gen 5 has to be top 3.
Kyurem Black and Kyurem White are the only saving grace because the DNA Splice's idea is really cool. It's really cool. I was like, this is.
So the genes are good.
But then look. The only ones that have no backstory is basically Meloetta, Kyurem, and Genesect.
I like Meloetta, but it's terrible.
I like Meloetta because look, the Swords of Justice.
Can you hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. We got
you.
What were you
I
gonna say?
changed like 5 different.
Reshiram and Zekrom are amazing.
Look.
Yeah, their designs. I mean, I think they're over the top, but they're still.
Four horses have their own story. They helped out humanity. We
What
have
story?
The genies.
They helped humanity. That's cool.
They have.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, but
the genies basically almost destroyed the world. Reshiram and Zekrom fought each other because they had the truths and ideals.
Hold on. Let me make a larger point.
Okay, go.
Because all of the things that y'all are selling Gen 5 on are legendaries that are like cool, don't have much of a lot. I'll give you some credence on the Sword of Justice plot. But if we're talking legendaries and what is emblematic of certain generations, then we need to be focusing more on Reshiram and Zekrom versus Lugia and Ho. And Lugia and Ho takes it in that situation.
If you're gonna just do bait box mons, then Kyogre and
we're not doing just box mons, but I think mons get more credence than something like
okay,
they've got to take the priority.
I put Groudon and Kyogre over Lugia and Ho then.
Yeah, but then I could see that argument. I would disagree. I could see that argument, but let's say Kyogre and Groudon are marginally better than Lugia and Ho. Then you've got to factor in the Regis versus the Beasts, and it's whoa, we're getting it back because the Regis are so boring.
It's like that.
Okay?
The Regis are so boring.
Okay.
They're the least interesting legendary trio in the whole thing.
You have both
Yeah,
laddies.
the laddies are good. The laddies are good.
You have both, and then you have Jirachi and Deoxys, and you have Rayquaza, right?
Yeah.
But again,
you have those extra mons.
But you can't say across the whole generation it's consistent. Like you can add more, but they've got to be consistent. That's my point. Is that you can't have a generation with 9 legendaries, 6 of them be good, and then that be better than a generation that only has 4 legendaries, because that's not a fair comparison. Like you've got to do it on like percentages of consistency.
The only bad mons in Gen 3 was the Regis. Those are the only bad legendaries.
And that's what I'm saying. That drags down. I love Gen 3, but that drags down the consistency of that game's legendaries. If you did it as like an average score, that would bring the average down. Whereas to me, Gen 2, like 100%, all of them are fine.
The Celebi drags them down too in Gen 2. Celebi drags them down.
What? What's wrong with Celebi?
We all love Celebi. Celebi drags them down. It just does. I love Celebi, but it just drags them
down.
down.
No way! It has a great film. It has a cool story. It has a cool event. Aquarius is struggling.
I'll give you.
They out here.
They're really struggling.
Aquarius out here.
Let's see. Okay, you're back. You're back.
I switched to my phone, and maybe that's gonna be better because I was on a public.
What did you want to say about Gen 5? Because I feel like you never got to like finish your thing about Gen 5.
Oh, maybe you didn't even hear me at the start. My point was that we should give more credence to, while all the legendaries matter, we need to give more credence to the emblematic levels of the legendaries. Right? So I think Ho and Lugia take the cake out of Reshiram and Zekrom easily.
Yeah, I agree. But
I'm happy to do 2-5.
5 isn't good enough for third.
Gen 2, Gen 5.
5 isn't good enough for third. Like the design.
You're talking about every single category.
You have to.
Okay. Because this might just be me, but I'm gonna throw this out there. I thought when I saw Zekrom and Reshiram, they looked a little bit like Dialga and Palkia, just done slightly differently. It looked like the base models were the same, and then they just did different extras on them. When I first saw them, I was like, it's just the same big, imposing, overly drawn legendary that's like overly designed. They're not interesting. They're in the story, but they're not interesting. Like, to me, it was just not, I don't know. I thought they were so weak.
What do we think? Because competitively, I love it. But story-wise, I hate it. About the fusions.
No, I like that
Pure
story
white, pure
because
black.
I think it's interesting to
black
do
and
the
pure
DNA
white?
splicer thing.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's original. I was like, that's cool.
You have to
It's
add
original.
them too.
I mean,
add them to
you
as
say it's
legendaries as
different,
well.
but they did the same thing in Gen 7 with Necrozma. There's the
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
makes Gen
at
7 worse.
but at the
that
time
doesn't make
in
Gen 5 worse. That
yeah,
makes,
exactly.
That makes 7
I
worse.
agree because
That
then
makes
by Gen
7
7 it
worse
wasn't
than-
original anymore. I completely
Yeah, it
agree.
wasn't original. They just added something new.
I agree. I would agree with that.
I still want to put Gen 7 last, but that's by the by.
I actually put Gen 7 as I put it as first on this list, but I understand it was crazy.
I put it as fourth.
I'll put Gen 7
I
mid. So
think, I think the Tapus are awesome. I think
The
I love
Tapus are
Tapus.
really
Tapus
cool.
are amazing.
The Tapus
Okay,
are
we're,
really
we're,
cool.
we're going off track here.
Wait, let's go number 2 on. Okay, so
4,
I'd be
2,
down
5.
to put Gen. I'd be down to put Gen 2. I'd be down.
2, 5.
2 and 5.
I would go 7 2 7 2 or sorry, not 7 2 5. Just put 2 5 as the
2,
next
5. 2, 5. Yeah.
4
go
2
2,
5.
5.
Yeah.
4 2 5.
4, 2, 5.
4
Yeah.
2 5. And
4, 2,
then
5. Yeah.
I say Gen 3 takes it afterwards.
Yeah,
Gen
3
3.
afterwards. For sure.
And then goes
Oh,
6.
what?
No, and then goes 7, then goes 6.
So first, last.
I
Gen
put
1.
1 before
Where's
6.
Gen
I
1?
put 1 before 6.
Mewtwo's
Oh, yeah,
the
I forgot about one, my
OG.
bad. I
Mew,
forgot
like,
about
what?
one. So 7 1 6. 7 1 6 last. That's my order.
Yeah.
7 1
6
6.
last. Hooper's. I
The
can't
thing,
be
okay, the thing with 6.
Oh,
Okay,
my boy
let me
Hooper.
come in at 6.
Fuck.
Let me come in at 6. Let me come in at 6.
7 1 6.
Let me come in at 6 because I have something to say about this. I have something to say
I
about
I
this.
love 6, but
I
it's like
think-
it's not as good as 7 or
Zekrom
1.
and Reshiram were the most stale ideas for fucking.
I-
Not Zekrom. Sorry, Xerneas and
No.
Yveltal.
Let me go. I think Yveltal and Xerneas and Zygarde all have fantastic designs. They finally
Yeah, I
simplified
agree.
it slightly,
Completely
stripped
agree.
it back slightly. They're all really elegant, really well designed. The problem was the storyline in Gen 6 was bollocks.
Was
Yeah,
it
No
sad?
one was interested in
It
Team
ruined
Flare
it.
the way it culminated,
They
which
literally
then screwed those
did
legendaries.
Nothing.
If they
They did
had-
0 with Zygarde.
The
This-
more
they did-
interesting thing in Gen 6
Yeah.
was AZ's Floette and like the destruction stuff. And that was
Yeah.
the problem, is that the mascot legendaries then bore the brunt of that and became bad. But on
Yeah.
design
Yeah.
alone, they're sick. But
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Based
all
on
the
design, they're amazing. I
legendaries in
love
Gen 6 were added like later, like Hooper
They have
and
no lore though.
the
They
Ant-
have
I agree,
zero
I agree.
lore.
They
Can
have
we
no
count
backstory. Who-
can we count AZ's Floette as a legendary?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Because they're now at number 1.
Hold on. Alright, can we before we get in this giant conversation where we're unorganized and things, can we agree 3 is number 4?
Yeah, we already did that.
Okay.
Do we all agree with that?
We already
My
did that.
internet
Yeah.
doesn't work.
I think
Yeah.
Gen 1's
I'll-
better. I think Gen 1's
Then
I
better.
would
3?
put
Then
I
3.
would
done.
put 7 1
I was
3
gonna
is
say-
Deoxys. Deoxys is
3.
cool as fuck. I'm sorry.
I
Deoxys,
mean-
Deoxys,
But the Regis
like,
are
Yeah.
just so...
7 1 3.
I
That's
don't-
how
I
it
don't
has
mind
to
the
go. I mean,
Regis.
not 7 1
I
3.
don't
hate
mind
the
the
Regis.
Regis.
7
I hate
1
the
6.
Regis.
They go like beep boop bop.
7-1
They're like little robots.
Yeah, but
The
they're
Regis
bad,
are-
they're
Regis are
boring,
taken
they're
off. Isn't it?
uninteresting. They felt like a
What do you
waste of
want
time
first
when you
place
caught
then?
them. You were like, did I
Dude,
really just spend my
hold
time
on,
for this?
Third is
I just
fourth,
caught
third
like a
is fourth.
Relicanth and a
Matt.
Wailord for this fucking
Matt.
piece of rock. Like,
Exactly.
it was so dull. It's like,
That
oh.
was your
That's
justification
why-
for Psuedo, so fuck off. That was your
Yeah.
justification for Psuedo.
Look
Second
at Matt
of all-
trying to play all
second
damn
of
card
all-
against us.
Second of
I
all,
wanna-
hold on, because
Go.
Let me
Go.
see if I can catch up.
No, you're good.
Okay. Cool. Did any of you watch the anime, the Battle Frontier anime?
I did.
With
I watched all of it,
Brandon,
yeah. I
watched the whole
like the
thing,
temple
yeah.
pyramid
watched-
guy?
yeah.
He
I
was
put the whole thing.
badass and had all of the
Yeah, he
Regis.
was a.
He had all the
he
Regis. He
did,
had
he
Regis
did.
too. Had all 4 Regis, and
He whooped Ash's ass
he destroyed everybody.
with those Regis.
He had all 4 Regis, dog. Come on, all 4 Regis on his team.
The
Yeah, but
Latties
Regis
had a
is
good
there.
film, so the Latties get bonus points for having a good film as well.
Who
But-
had
Yeah,
a good
that's
film?
Mario,
that's what they're there. Gen 3, yeah.
Yeah. Which
So,
I do want
4,
to say
2,
that the
5,
films
3.
since then have mostly been bad. Like all of the Gen 4, 5 and stuff films, weren't they all pretty bad? The ones I saw were pretty terrible.
The Regis were cool. The Reggie films were cool.
No, Mystery Dungeon was cool, bro. Not what's it called? Mystery.
The Lucario and the Mystery of
Lucario,
Mew.
yeah. The Mystery.
Lucario one.
Yeah, that one was cool. That
The
was
Regis
dope.
were scary. The Regis were like
They were-
creepy. It was cool.
They were like
Yeah.
evil,
They were
dog.
hiding that.
Okay, all right.
They were like
Okay,
they were
we're
literally
getting off
trying
topic.
to.
We're
But-
getting off topic. Let's get
We're
back
not
on.
but-
talking about movies. We're
but-
not talking
Let's go on track.
Well, we kind of are because I don't understand how Gen 1 is being ignored so much. When you have
No, it's
Mew-
not. It's 7. It's 7-1-6. That's our last 3. That's what we're going with. 7-1-6.
But how is 7 higher than 1?
Because the Tapus.
the Tapus?
The Tapus are
Easily.
better than Mewtwo and Mew. What?
Yeah, Mewtwo,
Magearna,
Magearna's not
Marshadow.
bad. Like Magearna's
Marshadow.
good and competitive. That's it. Magearna's not.
Marshadow.
Marshadow's kind of cool, but it's not better than Mew and Mewtwo.
Is there Aurora?
No,
Come on,
No.
Because
I'm
fuck the
joking.
birds. Fuck the birds. You just called Moltres like a chicken thing. So fuck the
Yeah,
birds.
Yeah.
but the other birds are cool. The other birds are cool,
You're-
and in the
hold
Lugia
on,
film, the
hold on,
birds are really cool.
Hold on. If you are saying 1 is above 7, then you have to defend that both Mew and Mewtwo
I will.
outweigh
I will. Okay,
Wait, all
here we go.
14
the
legendaries.
Tapus,
Here we go.
the Tapus,
Here we go.
all of the box art ones.
I'm gonna make this
And
argument.
Baby
and
God. And
Marshadow,
Baby God.
and
Let me do it.
Magearna.
And Baby
Let me
God.
go.
And
I'm
Baby
ready.
God.
I'm ready. I'm
Technically,
ready. Okay, Gen
And
7.
Baby God.
Gen 7.
Technically.
Gen
Okay.
7.
You
Soul
just-
Galeo's cool. Soul Galeo's cool.
I'll just
Lunala's
sit back.
cool. I'll give you that.
Okay,
Necrozma, not given proper treatment during the first gen. It was just like the first game in that generation, right? It was just thrown out there randomly in a patch of grass. It was
But now
so
it's cool.
boring.
It was fucking the cutscenes in 7 were fucking
They were
cool
really,
for
really
Necrozma.
cool, but at the same time, Ultra Necrozma is so ridiculous. Like, it doesn't even
I love
look...
Ultra Necrozma.
It looks like
It's
a
like-
fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card. It's insane.
No,
Like,
you-
it's just like, it doesn't...
No,
At
no,
this point,
let's
like...
go with- have you guys seen Dragon Ball? One of the things they summoned the dragon and it looks just like the Necrozma. They just literally copied it off Dragon Ball and put it in Pokemon.
But
That's
one thing
literally
I'll
all they
give you
did.
is like
Can
the
I-
idea of this thing that's
actually-
like absorbing the light and stuff
this
is really
is-
cool.
this-
I like the lore of Necrozma, so I would like completely accept that. But
Wait,
like
what's Necrozma's lore? I
like
actually
the whole
don't know
thing about it being like prisms and light and it like doesn't it like steal the light from the world
Yeah,
and
it's just
shit
like
like
from
Let
Megaropolis or whatever.
which is
let me-
cool.
let
He
me
tries
make
to
a-
do it. He
Yeah,
tries
go.
to do it in a.
Can
a
I
Lola.
make a point for
Go,
Gen
go.
7 real
Yeah,
quick?
go.
Because before like my internet cuts out again, is I think Gen 7 and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the way they treated Necrozma was with two events in particular. One is the cutscene where it merged and that stuff, and then the Mega Latropolis, whatever, where
Mhm.
you fought Ultra
Was
Necrozma. The first time you played through, you didn't really know that was happening, and it actually beat your ass when you were playing it.
It
was
really
fucking
did.
hard.
It really did.
That
I
was a
got
cool moment.
annihilated.
I
That
got
was a moment.
annihilated.
That was a unique moment
I got
that
6
had
out.
never happened before, where a legendary fucked you up
I
in Pokemon.
I'll give you that.
Second
Yeah,
of all,
I agree.
second
Yeah.
of all, and this is less so, but I still think this is important, is who the fuck was not completely thrown off and shocked when you were walking through Victory Road and you stumbled upon a dead Necrozma and you were like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, that's
That was a
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
that
100%.
you felt in that moment that no other legendary has ever done to you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I put 7 above 1.
I would agree, but then
I-
like that's
Fuck off.
that
I
no
just
no
made a stellar argument.
but you never let me
Fuck
finish
out.
my argument. You started yours halfway through
Yeah.
mine,
Go
so let me go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Whilst
go ahead,
I
go
agree with that, like I said earlier when you'd cut out, to be fair, I think that you have to take the legendaries not as like 3 are good out of 10, therefore the generation's great. I think you have to like average it across the whole generation because if some of them are bad, that has to drag it
So
back
what
down.
in Gen 7 is bad? So
Like
what
all
in
of
Gen
them
7 is
apart
bad?
from the Necrozma, pretty much. Like Lunala and Solgaleo are
Tapus?
nice design wise.
Tapus?
The Tapus are really
Tapus?
cool. The Tapus are really cool.
Hold on.
They're like one of the best
Then-
legendaries.
who's
too.
bad then?
But like
Moltres and
all the
Articuno are like whatever.
yeah, but they had a good
Yeah.
no. Articuno has a
That
really cool
applies, that
design.
applies more
Don't
for 1 than 7.
Articuno has a really cool design, and they had
Okay,
a
then-
fantastic
okay.
film with the Lugia film.
Okay,
They had a
so
fantastic
who's
film.
the bad?
And-
Who's the bad legendary in the?
Who's
in,
the bad
in,
one? Gen 7.
Like
Okay.
all of the extra shit, like Magearna,
Okay.
like all of
So-
that shit.
So
like,
you're basically
Zygarde
saying the bad
complete.
legendaries. Listen, okay, hold up. You're
Zygarde
saying the
10.
bad legendaries are Magearna, Marshadow, Melton, Melmetal,
Yes,
Cosmog,
yes.
Cosmoem, Silvally, and
yeah.
Type Null.
Yeah.
That's what you're basically
Oh,
saying.
All
they're
of those
the
are
bad
bad.
ones.
I agree. All of those are bad legendaries.
Forget Silvally and Type
No,
Null.
you can't forget
don't-
them.
No,
They're
they're-
legendaries. You
they're
can't forget them
legendaries.
because
They're
they're bad.
legendaries.
They
They're
have
both
to be
legendaries.
included. That's like me going, well, forget
they're
forget
legendaries.
Moltres because it's a stupid chicken. You have to
Let
include
me-
it. It's a legendary.
You have to include them. They're all legendaries.
But technically, aren't Lunala and Solgaleo Ultra Beasts?
No, they're not.
Nah.
They're
they're not.
legendaries. They are
Yeah.
legendaries.
Are you
They
sure?
may
Yeah,
come from
yeah.
a different dimension,
Yeah,
but
they're
they
still
have to
legendary.
come. They have to evolve with like friendship with someone as a trainer.
And
as
they
they're playing.
exactly,
Don't
and they
become.
don't
I
have
think
the
that
ultra beast ability and all
I
that
think
shit
that
as well.
the
Like,
way, the reason I also like Gen 7 more than Gen 1 in terms of legendaries is because there's this level of sacredness around them that's not inherent
And
to any
plus,
of the others.
I don't think.
Mewtwo and Mew can't carry that hard.
But-
They just can't carry
Yeah,
that
they
hard.
can't. I
It's
like
not-
Mewtwo
it's
and
not
Mew,
just-
they don't carry
my
that
point
hard.
is-
that hard.
Let me like
Because
the
that's
point
less than
isn't that they're
50%.
carrying. The point isn't that they're carrying. The point is they're the only ones. So in terms of consistency, if Gen 2 has a 100% shot rate, Gen 1 has a 99% shot rate. They get one bad out of all of them, right? And Mewtwo and Mew was so good. They had amazing films. They had amazing lore. During the game, when you found those journals and like on Cinnabar Island and stuff, and you were learning about it, had a really interesting story with cloning, and it was really inherently linked to Team Rocket trying to gain like the ultimate weapon and stuff. And it had like this like.
But I think there's too much attachment from like Gen 6, the way it's like.
I disagree. I think it's too easy now. I think it's too easy now to go, that's nostalgia, when actually it's not. It was just really well done, and that's why the game was so successful.
I'm not arguing.
It's not nostalgia.
I know, but a lot of people are like,
it is one legendary, Matt. Maybe
fuck,
you.
It's 2 out of 5, which is 40%.
It's 4 out of 5. It's 4 out of 5.
It's 2 out of 5.
Zapdos are dope.
I don't care.
It's 4 out of 5.
It's Mew and Mew 2. I'm happy
what they did with the story in Gen 7, what they did with the story in Gen 7, and how it worked in, and the level of sacredness, the level of attachment I had to the region, how each topic was associated with each island. There's so much connection.
I agree. I do. The Tapus are amazing. I can see.
7 is 5.
7,
6. Okay,
7,
1 and 6. No one's arguing with 1 and 6, right?
No one's 1 and 6, yeah?
Yeah,
I want to say I love Hooper, but Hooper doesn't carry that much.
Hooper.
What are you talking about?
Hooper's amazing.
Hooper's cool. I like
Hooper. Hooper's cool, but it's like
so you put 6 over 1. No, we put 1 over 6.
Hooper's cool, but Hooper has nothing to do with Gen 6.
Gen 6 is getting shafted so hard this debate.
Gen 6 is
the anti-Gen 6 bias in this pool. Poor Gen 6.
Right.
It's just facts. Like compared to other gens, Gen 6 is just. It's a huge letdown. Like they built up so much hype for Gen 6 and they didn't deliver the hype. It's maybe just us expecting too much, but at the same time, it's really them not delivering as well as us expecting too much. Like there's like no middle ground. There's no middle ground at all.
For future episodes, Gen 6 will have its day, just not today.
Yeah, Gen 6, not today, not this
now,
category.
The last category is every other one we've not talked about.
Wait, we got
Rest of the Dex.
The Rest of the Dex. So everything else in the decks we've not talked about so far.
Hold on, I haven't got Aquarius's audio. Hold on, like just wait for them to come back because I can't get their audio in a minute.
Yeah.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say your audio wasn't
right.
I got some facts for you.
Wait. Aquarius didn't hear the next category because they were disconnected.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Bear in mind the Ultra Beasts for Gen 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I still want to say Gen 5.
I got some facts for y'all.
I also want to make a point before we start spewing about 600 mons that we're about to have on the table. That I think there are certain mons in certain generations that we should bear in mind that even though they're from certain generations, when you play through the game, sometimes they're irrelevant. Sometimes you never see them, etc. Right? So I think the mons that, for example, the Route 1 mons, the things like that most people that are more iconic to your region matter a little bit more than some random like Hawlucha for Gen 6 or something petty, you know?
No, but we'll take everything into account. The rest
I understand, but there's certain ones that are more iconic towards certain generations than others. So before we randomly spew out random mons that just are associated with whatever gen, we have to bear in mind the importance and how likely it is on each team, etc.
Okay, so before I got some facts.
I think. One thing I think there's one thing that needs to go with that. Like a footnote to that is that just because something isn't accessible in the game doesn't make it great in the game. Like for me, one of my favorite things about playing through Pokemon is not being able to catch certain things. So if there are some things that are just so unattainable, I think that adds to the game.
There's more iconicness to certain things.
I think
Staraptor. I think in Gen 4, Staraptor, for example. I'm not arguing for Gen 4, but I think Staraptor in Gen 4 matters more than.
Like Hawlucha
and Carnivine.
I agree.
For example,
but Carnivine's trash anyway, so it's fine.
I got some facts.
You get what I'm saying.
I got some numbers. Okay, so in Gen 1 Pokédex, not counting the pseudos, legends, or starters, there's 133 mons in Gen 1. Gen 2, there's 81 mons. Gen 3, 109. Gen 4, there's 80. And keep in mind, Gen 2 and Gen 4 were just filler mons, just for baby mons and evolution, so that's why they're so low.
I wouldn't call the evolution filler mons, but
they're like not brand new IP.
They're not brand new. Extensions.
Yeah,
Extensions.
sure.
So Gen 5 has 128, Gen 6 has 53, and Gen 7, I forgot to add the UBs, the Ultra Bees, so there's about 64 mods on Gen 7. Those are the facts right there.
My problem with
I still want to say Gen 5.
My problem with Gen 6 being so low is that part of the reason that was so low was to include megas. Can we not include megas in this?
No, we're not including megas.
But then
megas.
Gen 6 is just auto shafted because they put their focus on introducing megas. So it's like they can't.
They've got a few.
So many. No, but I think the thing was they put megas only for previous mons, not new mons. So they could have added a lot.
Yeah,
more.
but Gen 4. Yeah, we got you now. Gen 4 added evolutions that were to previous ones.
I get the Gen 6 mega problem. I was thinking about this when I was looking it over. First of all, I think Gen 6 is low no matter what. But even if you include megas, first of all, I think megas should be a separate discussion in terms of
that's a whole.
But second of all, I feel like it's hard for you to make the argument that it's unfair we're including megas when throughout the actual like storyline of Gen 6, you maybe encounter 6 out of like.
But they're really important. Like Mega Gardevoir and Mega Lucario are really, really important to the experience of Gen 6. So like to then say
I would just say other mons outweigh from other
Yeah,
like I get they're important, but like I think other mons just outweigh.
But that's like saying we're not going to include them because I think they'll lose anyway. But then include them, let them lose.
That's not what I'm arguing. I'm just saying like I don't think it's worth focusing too much on that because we're gonna have it later on, and I don't think they're that important for them to be like.
I don't know.
Even though we know Mega Gardevoir is Diantha's like ace mon, and it's like super iconic with her.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
You can't really add.
What's her name? The champion is so irrelevant in Gen 6.
See, but this is what I mean. The anti-Gen 6 bias just means that I'm like, maybe we should give Gen 6 a fair chance, and you're like, no, let's fuck Gen 6. It's like, like
no, Gen 6 will get its time. It will get its time later on.
It will get its time. It's the same with Gen 5. You screw over with Gen 5 every 5 minutes.
No, I like Gen 5. I think it's the best.
Okay, so what's
right? First place.
My order of this is all messed up because it just changed throughout the discussion, so I have no clue what I want first. I'm gonna look over the decks. You guys spew your words.
I want to make a point to either Gen 5 or Gen 4 in first place.
Yep.
That's a yikes, dog. Not Gen 4.
Easily. Not. I would say Gen 5. I would say Gen 5.
Not Gen 5 first. Not
Gen 5 first.
Because Gen 4 was just basically, if you look at the decks, I'm looking at the decks right now. You have like, if you're not counting the evolutions of like the previous models,
you count the
evolutions.
I don't understand why
we count megas.
No, I'm not saying I'm not counting them. But I'm saying like if you consider them from a different gen, like say Gligar's a Gen 2, but they gave him evolution Gen 4, right? I'm saying don't include that. Yeah. There's like only like 30 or 40 brand new mons in Gen 4.
But that's the whole point of Gen 4.
What are you talking about? They're all brand new.
They're all brand new.
But then we should include megas, because to me, Gliscor is as different to Gligar as some megas are from the original form.
Gen 6 is worse no matter what.
We're not talking about megas, Matt.
Gen 6 will have been at the bottom anyway.
Yeah, it's in the bottom.
You're too focused on the megas.
You're all scripts.
Hold on, because I think you are fucking up Gen 4 right now, Dreadful. And I think that's a mistake.
I think Gen 4 is really good.
Because lots of the evolutions are amazing.
Because I love Gen 4, but I'm like...
No.
It's got to be top 3 at least, minimum.
Because
top 3?
Because
I have
Gen
top
4. Gen 4 is the only generation that added a bunch of evolutions to mons that were otherwise forgotten, and that's
here we
something
go.
important.
Yeah.
But by your own argument, something like Staraptor is more important because it's readily obtainable and you can have it on your team. Magmortar should be irrelevant to someone like me who didn't have people they could trade with. There were so many trade evolutions in Gen 4.
Actually, no.
No friends that played mons.
So therefore, is guilty of that.
No, Gen 4 had so many more trade evolutions.
You said that.
My brother was playing
through Gen 4
whole day and he couldn't have shit on his team.
Because you know why? Because who just left?
We're good. Yeah, like Gen 4 has so many trade evolutions.
Listen. When Aquarius was saying that they're irrelevant, no, they're not, because I'm looking at decks right now. Weavile, Sneasel was not irrelevant in Gen 2. Magneton was not irrelevant in Gen 1. Leaky Tongue was semi-irrelevant in Gen 2. Rhydon was not irrelevant. Tangela was not irrelevant. Electabuzz was not irrelevant. And Magmar was not irrelevant in 1. And also Gligar. And Piloswine, they were not relevant, and Porygon Z, and Gallade, they were all relevant in the respective generations. They were all relevant. They just gave them an extra buff to make them more like,
I think you're making a big mistake. first of all, can I just say something? Because I think all of us like shouting over each other is right now
Yeah.
screwing up what's screwing up my internet because it's like taking so much at once from like different places around the world. But let me just really quickly.
Give me a second. I'll be right
make
back.
Okay. Fucking. Then why am I even talking?
It's alright. We don't need his opinion anyway. He's always wrong.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can us three agree that like the evolutions for Gen 4 matter to some extent?
Yeah.
Because that
For sure.
include.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
understand why he's just throwing them out the
Because
window.
No, it's because I said about megas, so he was saying even if he was saying like if you discount them, because I was saying like how come they count but megas don't count? That was the problem. And I still don't understand why they count and megas don't count.
Because I think megas are a mechanic more than they are.
But it's a complete stat and design overhaul. How is it not a different one? What do you define as a Pokemon? Like, if it has a completely different stat and design, like
different dex number.
It's different dex number. I mean, the topic is literally Pokédex.
But that's like saying that the Rotom forms, therefore, are all inherently equal. They're not. They're all different, and you can rank them differently.
No,
they're all Rotom, but they're all different. Like, you wouldn't rank
now?
them all the same. So it's like you can have different opinions on things once they change aesthetics and stats. A lot of people prefer Gastrodon one color to Gastrodon the other color. Even a color change.
Yeah, but that makes the same decision for Alola forms in Gen 7.
Yeah, Alola forms should be considered.
Yeah, they're considered. They should be.
So why aren't Megas? How come Alolan forms are considered and Megas
Because
aren't?
Megas is like entirely, it's the same mon. They not have like a different
Well, Alola forms are the same mon.
structure or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's outrageous! Mega Altaria, whole new typing. Like,
The whole new typing, whole new change.
whole new
exactly
Pokemon,
the
you
same
play
thing.
it completely differently. It's not the same Pokemon.
Hey.
Okay, so what's the argument right now? What's the argument?
Hey,
I have no clue. I just
there
get
is
back
no
over here.
argument because we need to make a fucking list, and if people are shouting over
We've not even got first
Matt,
place yet.
No more Megas. No more Megas, Matt. Stop.
It's
no more
Matt's
Megas.
fault.
just-
Matt is screwing up this conversation.
I said
Right.
I would do this.
First
I
place.
said I would.
First place. Gen 5.
Yes.
Gen 5. You've got
Gen 5.
Conkeldurr, you've got
I'm
Darmanitan,
down.
you've got Crocodile, you've got freaking pretty much most of Gen 5.
The thing
but
is,
besides
the
Watch
thing
Dogs.
is, it's like I agree with you, but you have to recognize that it's inherently skewed because it had so many more Pokemon to introduce. Again, it's throwing enough shit at a wall and some of it will stick.
Yeah, but you can say that, but they didn't.
I could make
They
argument for Gen
introduced
1
lots
then.
of all bad
I don't
mons.
care. Even if the
I
designs
just don't think it's the most consistent. You still have things
I would
like.
rather have 200 new Pokemon than like 10.
I agree
that are
with you, but
really
if
good.
you want to talk about the consistency across all the new designs introduced, I don't think Gen 5 is the most consistent.
That's not what I want to talk
think
about.
the
That's
best
what
one
I
is-
think.
But
But
why
that's
not? Why does the?
I
But then
think
whichever
Gen
has the
1
highest
does.
number
Gen 1
always
does.
wins. Why are we doing this then? We just rank
my
them in
God,
number of
people
how many they introduce. Easy.
Okay, so what do you want, Matt? What
It
do you
should
want
be
first?
What do you want in first place?
I don't know. I'm just arguing.
Well, there we go.
because I'm just saying, like,
Five,
I think
five.
that the
Okay,
way you're
five.
making the decision
This
isn't
is
fair.
Gen
Just put 5
This is
there.
this is
Just
my
put 5 there.
this is my
I think
argument.
I agree
Okay.
with 5. I think I agree with
I
5.
like
but I don't think
5
it's the most
and I like
consistent.
1. I like both 5 and 1 because they both, like, if you look at the stats, they both have the most mons brought to the game.
Yeah, but
right?
that shouldn't
133
make
for
them
Gen
have
1,
the best
Gen 5
mons.
is 128.
It's not about
And
quantity.
they're
it's
all-
about quality
Gen
as well.
1's
It's
the
about
worst
the
for me.
combination of
I
two.
think Gen 1's
Look,
bottom.
What?
Gen 1's bottom?
I
No,
think
it's
Gen
not
1's
because
bottom.
Above Gen
all
6?
of the designs
Yeah,
in Gen,
Gen
1
1
are
has the-
phenomenal.
No, they're the least interesting. Gen 1 has the least interesting Pokemon of any generation. For sure.
That's a yikes, dog. That's a no from me,
That's
Chief.
a yikes.
That's
Gen
a
1's
no
probably
from
mid,
me.
third place, but
Interesting.
not last. No.
That's-
They're the
So
least
wait, so-
interesting.
no,
They
no, no,
are.
no, no.
They're
So
so
least
bland.
interesting, you have Pidgeot, you have Raichu,
Boring.
you have Sandslash.
Boring.
You have Ditto.
Boring.
A
Actually,
failed
Ditto's
view.
cool. I like Ditto. Ditto's cool. It's got a cool
Arcanine.
story.
Alakazam, Machamp,
Alex-
Golem,
Gengar.
Yeah,
Gengar,
these are good ones. These are good ones. I'll give you these.
Muk,
There you go.
Kangaskhan,
Muk.
Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan,
Muck.
Hingala,
It's just a big pile of sludge.
What? So
Scyther.
Salvador.
Gyarados,
yeah.
and the evolutions to
Evolutions
Aerodactyl,
are cool.
Snorlax,
Snorlax, Lapras.
Come on,
I love Snorlax. I'm not saying it doesn't have great Pokemon. It does.
it has
But on the
great-
whole, it's a boring generation.
overall, I would say I'd either give it to Gen 5 or Gen 1. That's what I give
need
overall.
us? Okay. Dread,
That's what I give overall.
Brave has said Gen 5.
we've already said Gen 5. Can we please
Gen
like
5.
make a coherent list instead of like talking in it like we were about to agree on Gen 5 and then someone was like Gen 1 blah, blah, blah. Like can we,
No, we did. We
need
were
to
trying
just,
to
like,
do Gen 2,
we can't.
number 2. We were trying to establish what was number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dragonite
okay,
said
so
Gen
Gen 5 is
1
For
should be
number
number
2 for me, I put 1. I put 1.
I put 1 as well. I put 1.
I think 1 and 4 should be top 3. Don't care which way around.
I put /4. Here's why I say 1, because every time people shit talk Gen 1, they're like, Voltorb, Electrode, oh no, terrible. I think that Gen 1 has really, really solid Pokemon that even if they were to be introduced now, they would be badass. I'm sorry. Like,
but a lot of them are very dull. A lot of Gen 1 is very uninteresting.
Okay, what do you want?
Examples.
What do you want second place?
Examples.
Examples of bad designs in 1.
For me? Sorry.
No, for slacking.
Yeah, I think that like the Pidgey line is very uninteresting. I think
what?
It is. I think it's very uninteresting. Like it's
the Pidgey line.
Yeah, it's just a pigeon that gets some hair and then a bit longer hair. It's so underwhelming. It's so underwhelming. Then Rattata is very dull. Very dull.
I give you that.
Then Electrode and Voltorb, as mentioned, are a bit shit.
They're just balls.
Magnemite is shit. It's just a magnet.
What?
Yeah, it's just some magnets. It's just some magnets. Like the Magnemite.
You can say that about anything. Klefki's just a pair of keys.
Yeah, Klefki's just a pair of keys.
There's a Magnemite.
It's keys, dog. What's your point?
Look, it's so uninteresting.
You're forgetting about Meowth right there. That's right. You can't diss my boy.
It's uninteresting still. They're not.
Okay,
they're not an interesting generation.
I'm getting Meowth. I'm getting Meowth. I'm getting Meowth.
What do you want as number 2 then, Matt? What do you want? You have to give us something. You can't just argue without having something
I would say Gen 3. I would put Gen 3 at number 2.
Okay, let's look at the Gen 3 decks. I actually like most of these decks.
Gen 3 is Gorbis.
Yeah, Gorbis sucks. I'll give you that one.
Do we do an order for the ones?
Gen 3.
Gen 6.
Actually,
Gen 6.
Actually, looking at it, Gen 3 is up there.
It's really solid.
Gen 3 is up there. It really is. The only bad lines I see is the Wurmple line.
Wurmple's better than Caterpie.
Hold on.
What?
Can I go back? Can I do Gen 1? Because I cut out before I could just defend Gen 1 as number 2.
Okay, go.
Okay. First of all, Vileplume. I love Vileplume.
I agree.
But also, it offered us 2 awesome bugs in Butterfree and Beedrill that you got early on and were very cool. I think Pidgeot's cool in its own right. I think that, we have to give credence because there's nowhere else to Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yep.
We have to think about the Nidos. If they were to be introduced in Gen 7, they would still be badass.
The Nidos are sick.
100%.
Nidos are cool. I would say Dugtrio is cool. I would say Persian's very cool.
But you are just isolating particular ones now.
No,
is exactly what you said at the beginning. Like
the last 5 that I just mentioned were like right next to each other in the Pokedex.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. It's just like I could sit with the Gen 3 Pokedex and reel them off. Like,
let's do this then.
But wait, I want to say off your thing of like the first route Pokemon and stuff. Gen 1 has the least interesting. Rattata is the least interesting rodent Pokemon. Pidgey is the least interesting bird Pokemon. Caterpie and Weedle are the least interesting bird Pokemon.
I think those are quintessential, though. I think those are like essential.
Yeah, because they were the first, but they're not the most interesting. Like Vivillon is just a way better version of Butterfree, far more interesting.
No. Yeah, but Spupa and fucking Spupa and
Don't shit talk Spupa.
Scatterbug is
Don't shit talk Spupa. Don't shit talk Spupa. He has a fancy coat and he's a happy little man.
They do both the same thing as they're equivalent to.
But Bunnelby and Diggersby are far more interesting than Rattata and whatever.
Caterpie and Metapod are just equivalent to that. Then okay, so let's do this. Let's just do this. How about I propose something? Because he's talking about Gen 3 and you guys talking about Gen 1, and I'm still undecided. I'm still looking at the decks. So how about we do this? We look at the most worst designs out of those 2 gens, and we go from there. Who has the worst designs goes lower, and the ones with the least worst designs take number 2.
Well, let me make the case for Gen 3 because I haven't really argued for it. Let me try and argue for Gen 3 and why I think Gen 3 it should be.
Because I like Gen 3 too.
Yeah.
Gen 3 is really good. It's a really solid dex.
I think Gen 3 should be higher because I think that it has really interesting variation early game. So you can catch things like routes early game, which is really, really interesting. Surskit you can get early game, which is like a different kind of bug and, in my opinion, a really cool one. You have the split line of the fucking Wormpool, which I know like it's not the most popular, but at least you have a divided line and it was kind of mysterious. You have things like Shedinja that I didn't even know existed until I'd completed the game multiple times. And then you have things like later game that are really like weird and out there, like Relicanth that has a really clean design, really hard to find, you don't know what it is. And it's just, I don't know, I just think it has a really solid dex, and from early game to late game, consistently keeps up elements of mystery and rare mons to keep you interested.
And you also do get early routes too to get to a God of War. So I like that as well. So I actually like the Gen 3. I'll probably put Gen 3 over Gen 1 solely on the dex.
Yes.
I like Gen 3 mons a lot more, even though Gen 3 does have its downfall, same with Gen 1. That's what's proposing the idea that whoever has the least amount of bad mons takes second place.
I also think Gen 3 did a fantastic job of giving gym leaders mascot mons and helping those mons be memorable, in my opinion. But go on.
Can I?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, first of all, the evolutions I think are pretty important for Gen 1.
I agree.
I think that Gyarados is obviously very cool in the sense that it sort of gave us this first like massive cool thing. Also, I just want to like, if I think that things like Alakazam and Gengar still carry its own today as like these
for sure
badass like final form evolution things. I can't immediately in my mind, if you were to ask me to do that for Gen 3, isn't something that I could immediately think of as like an immediate complement to things like Alakazam and Gengar and all this shit. Like, I think it's I don't know.
You do have an Aggron, a Gardevoir. You do have a
I mean, I guess, but like, I think the fossils in Kanto are better.
No, Flygon, you've lost your argument since Flygon.
You've lost it.
You have a Milotic.
Milotic, you've lost as well.
Yeah, so they do have their own respective carries as well.
And they had the weird, like you had Ditto in Gen 1, and Ditto was this unique clone thing. You had Cast Form. Cast Form was really interesting when you first found it.
You can't compare Ditto with Cast Form.
I can, and I just did. It was interesting when I first found it. You have Tropius, you have Absol, you have some phenomenal designs.
Yeah, I also really good design in this Gen 3.
I agree. I put 3 as third. I put 3 as underneath 1.
I put 3 and 4.
The reason that I agree with you that there are more iconic Pokemon in Gen 1, and I'm not saying that because it's Gen 1, I think they deserve to be. Alakazam deserves to be where it is. Yeah, but I think there are also way more missteps in Gen 1 than Gen 3. There aren't bad Pokemon in Gen 3. There are some not great Pokemon in Gen 1.
I agree. That's true for every generation.
No, but I think Gen 3 is far more consistent than Gen 1.
Fuck. Internet.
I don't agree.
Hold up.
What's bad in Gen 3? Like, give me bad designs in Gen 3.
I don't like... You know my opinions of Flygon, 100%.
Yeah, but you don't think Flygon is badly designed. You might not like it as like a mod.
No.
My design in Gen 3 is a Clamperl line. Love disc.
Clamperl, love disc. Volbeat and Illumise.
Volbeat and Illumise. I like that.
I can give you Illumise, but not Volbeat.
That's gotta go in the trash. Okay, what else? I'm looking at the decks right now. We have a
Slacking. Come on, that's terrible.
Spinda's
so cool. Spinda's so cool. It has like the unique dots on it.
Mining was like a rip off of Pikachu, but that didn't work out for them.
Every generation.
Plus the.
Are you back?
Spinda's carrying Glaze.
Yeah, this killing my Wi-Fi right now.
The Skitty, the Nincada line.
Y'all shouting over each other is killing my Wi-Fi right now.
The Wurmple line, the Zigzagoon, Puchiena. So that's about 6 or 7 right there in Gen 3. Gen 1 has
Rattata.
Gen 1 has Caterpie line, it's not that great. The Weedle line is not that great. The Rattata line is not that great. The Spearow line is not that great.
This is all
the
true.
Ekans line.
This is all true.
Ekans? You cut that.
Ekans line is not that great.
Ekans is alright.
Ekans is okay, it's eh. The Clefairy line was pretty dope. Jigglypuff was like eh.
Yeah, don't like
Jiggly!
Jigglypuff was Trump was not gonna like me, but I don't like Wigglytuff either. It's just
the Paris line was a letdown.
Also, I think in Gen 1 there was like some like too many things that were similar. So for example, like Vileplume and Venusaur, while both dope, are both like based on the same thing in the same generation.
And Victreebel too.
When you have like Pharaoh and Pidgeot, they're like the same thing. It's like
you have Vileplume, Victreebel, and Venusaur. They're all grass poison. They're all the same. They're basically
but
the same
like,
amount with different
even
stats.
more specifically, the exact same flower is the basis for
Yeah,
both
same
Valkyrie
thing.
and Venusaur, and it's like in the same generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's a few
And
missteps
then-
in Gen 1.
I take Gen 3 over Gen 1, even though I love Gen 1. I take Gen 3 over Gen 1.
I have a final say. I have a final argument for Gen 1. If it doesn't sway all, I'll move on. But let me just write it out so I don't forget anything.
It's been like an hour and a half already.
I know. I'm
I
just
know.
shouting at each other.
We have to hurry this
Okay.
up, bro. We have to hurry this up. People gonna click out the video like 25 minutes in.
No, I know.
45 minutes
Just give me a second. Okay, so here's my final argument for Gen 1. One sec.
Cause we gotta hurry this up, dog.
Yeah, no, I got you. I just went through the list so I could see it.
I wonder. I remember. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna compare things real quick to Gen 3. These are 6 elements of Gen 1's Pokédex that I think beat out Gen 3. One are the bugs. I think that Beedrill and Butterfree, even if there's a weird evolution thing, I think that Caterpie and Weedle beat out Wurmple. I think that Beedrill and Butterfree are better than Beautifly and Dustox. I don't care that there's a weird evolution line. I don't think that's substantial enough to save them.
But,
Second.
Wait, can I say there's also Nincada and there's also Surskit. So like,
Yeah,
it's not
there
just
are also
one
bugs
early
too.
game bug. There's 3 early game
Think
bugs.
of them as like the mainline bug
He
evolutions.
means like
but
the
But they're
main
all
one.
available at the same
I
point
mean
in
like
the
the
game.
main ones.
Yeah.
I mean like the main ones, because like Wurmple is the main one. Second
Yeah.
Because
is I think
I think
think-
Surskit is the main one too, because Surskit and Wurmple have the same exact encounter rate and the same exact grass. The very first grass.
not in the first.
Yeah,
Not in the first.
Surskit's
it's only
really rare.
Wurmple in the
Surskit's
first.
really rare.
It's just-
Nincada has a
Surskit's
better
super
encounter rate.
rare.
Yeah.
You can't even get Surskit in the first route.
Yeah,
so
you can.
No.
You can get it in the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
round if you go
yeah.
left.
In the
I don't
forest,
think you
they're
can in
both the
Ruby and
same.
Sapphire. I think that's only Emerald. But
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I only played
My memory's
Emerald, so I haven't played. those
regardless,
others,
I think it's unarguable to say that Wurmple is not the main bug. Even if there's other bugs, Wurmple's the main bug. That's the
Yeah.
You don't
But-
think of Surskit, you think of Wurmple for if you were asked
Yeah.
the main bug of Gen 3. I have 5
I-
other things
I
really quick. So let me
disagree,
just go
but
through it.
on.
2 are I think that there's no other Mon in Gen 3 where you get this early on beast that makes you feel so amazing about yourself than the Nidos. You get the Nidos really early on, and you get like a level 16 Nido King, and you feel fucking awesome when you play the Gen 1 games. I think Alakazam and Gengar are the same argument I made above in terms of there's no sort of like final third evolution that's like amazing. I get Gardevoir, I get the other stuff, but I feel like Alakazam, Gengar, you could even count Golem and Machamp are pretty fucking cool.
I agree.
Fourth of
100%
all,
with that.
and this is small, but I still think this is relevant because this is sort of if you're considering a new player getting into the game and sort of the storyline progressing through the game. In the early part of the game, you're dealing with all these cutesy fucking mons or whatever. In the first gym leader, the Rock Gym, it's both Rock for 1 and 3. You see this fucking massive Onyx, and you're like, holy fucking shit, this is cool. In Gen 3, you see Nosepass. So
Yeah,
I think that there's this sort of shock value of that's your first sort of like super cool beast mon that you see in Gen 1, and it's very early on, and it sort of carries your interest. The evolutions don't exist in Gen 3. They do exist in 1. I think it started that, and I think that's important. I think you can also argue the Hitmontops. That wasn't part of the list, but the Hitmontops. And I think the Gen 1 fossils outweigh the Gen 3 fossils.
I agree with
especially because
the
they
Down.
also have Aerodactyl.
I'd agree with
All
the
of
Yeah.
those points combined, I don't feel like they hold up to Gen 3 straight up. I just don't think Gen 3 lights a candle to any of those points, and I think all of those
Yeah.
points are very essential.
Well,
I-
100% agree.
I still disagree, but we're gonna have to move on, I guess.
Okay, let's go.
Let's-
One and three.
let's-
Let's
5,
go.
1, 3.
5,
1,
1, 3.
3.
Let's go.
5, 1,
5, 1,
3.
3.
5
Can I
Five
say
is
4
first?
for next? 4 for
Yeah,
next?
I would say
three.
4 next.
I said 4.
5,
Well,
1,
next.
3, 4.
5, 1,
Well,
3,
next.
4. You like that,
5,
Matt?
1, 3, 4.
He's
5,
so
1, 3,
broken.
4.
Look at Matt, he's broken.
Fourth place
Matt
next. Fourth place next.
is broken.
It's fine.
Matt, say
Fine.
something. Fourth?
6.
I need confirmation.
6.
4 next.
6.
6. 6.
6. 6.
Okay, 4,
I'd say
4.
4 is 4.
4,
I'd
4,
say
4, 4, 4, 4, 4.
Okay, and then next up I had 2. I had Gen 2.
7. 7.
I'd
I
say
had
Gen
Gen
7, yeah. Gen 7.
I like 7.
How about you,
7,
Matt?
6.
I had Gen 2.
Yeah,
7, 2,
I
6.
kind of forgot about Gen 2. Gen 2's been shafted. Gen 2's
Gen
really
2
good.
are all the rejected Gen 1 mods.
But they're really good. They
They're
should have
good.
been in. They should have
Besides
got rid
the
of.
baby ones.
They should have got rid of Merc,
Shuckle.
Voltorb, and that crap and put in some of those. Shuckle's cool. I mean, I hate it in competitive, but I love its design and stuff.
I
Thing.
Gen 2.
I
The
take
where-
2.
Steelix,
Gen 2
Scissor,
had
Heracross, Apom. Come
Dawn
on.
Fan,
Dawn
Mantine,
Fan.
Armory,
Dawn
Houndoom,
Fan.
Kingdra,
Yeah,
Pablo
Gen
Swine,
2.
Ursaring,
Gen 2's number 1.
Steelix,
Fuck me.
Heracross,
Let's put Gen 2
Scizor,
number 1.
Sneasel,
Jesus.
Gligar.
It's so good.
Seven,
Is
two,
there a
six.
bad Pokemon in Gen
No.
2? Is there a
2
Yes.
single
7,
bad
2
one?
6 7.
Yeah.
Ariados.
Hold on. Yes. Ariados, Ladian.
Cool.
Sunflora,
Really cool.
Ledian.
I really like them.
Sunflora.
Pineco.
I like all of
Unknown.
these. I really like all of
Fortress.
these. Unknown.
Sunflora.
Unknown. There you go. Unknown is the only bad Pokemon in Gen
Yeah.
2.
Ariados, Ledybug, Ledian.
I like those. I really like those.
Ledian's a good design, but it's
Sentry's
very
Brandon's kind of
horrible.
ugly. Macargo
No,
is kind of
no,
ugly.
you can't dish Stromp like that.
Octillery's kind of ugly.
No, I'm taking 2.
They're cool designs.
I take
though.
2.
All right. I'll since I argued so hard for Gen 1, I'll take 2 over 7.
I'm taking
compromise
2.
with that.
And then
7's really good
I-
as well, though.
I put
Then
6
I
seven,
think
six.
over
I
7.
think you guys have overrated
Oh,
4. So
I
much.
put 6 7.
No.
I put 6 7.
2 6 7.
I put
Yeah.
6 7.
I'll compromise.
7,
no,
6.
Wait. No. 7
7,
above
6.
6. 7 above 6.
7 6.
I
7
put
6.
7.
7
I put
6.
6. I put 6 over 7. How about you, Matt? What do you want?
7 6.
Gen
I
7
put
is the
6
best
over
bug.
7.
Gen 7 is the best bug. Vikavolt, so fucking cool.
No. gives
No,
a damn
no.
about
Hold
Arachnids
on.
amazing.
Vikavolt
Gen
in
6
design,
has Sylveon.
yes, but in the
Yeah,
original Sun and Moon
bad.
games, Vikavolt was so hard to get, and you had to wait so long with a fucking bus, right? It sucked. They killed Vikavolt. Like, you should have just been able to evolve it like every other damn bug and use that thing on your team because it
That's
looked
true.
sick.
Yeah.
But they ruined it.
I put
Okay.
6. 6 has Sylveon. Okay. Sylveon, Halucha. It had Trevenant, which is amazing design. It had the table,
I like
even though
6.
not a lot of people.
Hold on. I have
Tyrantrum.
a problem with Gen 6.
I thought Avalugg was
I have
5.
a problem with Gen 6.
Tyrantrum.
Here's why. Let me take a look, but I have a problem with Gen 6.
I like
Matt, what do
7
you
on
want to
Gen
do, Matt?
7 and Gen 6.
What do you say? You take 6 over 7 or 7 over 6, Matt?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
What the heck?
Alexa for you. That was Alexa. Don't worry about it.
Alexa.
Shut up.
even
Here's my
Talonflame.
problem. Here's my
Talonflame was
problem with
amazing
6
at
and
Gen
7 are both
6.
good. 6 and 7, 6 and 7 are both better than 4 and 1. So I don't even know what's happened to this tier list, but there we go.
Here's my pitch against Gen 6. I think that the fairy type is cool, but like I think some of the fairies they introduced were kind of lame. Like I think that Aromatisse is kind of lame.
No, Slurpuff sucks. But
Slurpuff and like Dedenne was terrible. Carbinks, like whatever.
Dedenne's cute. Carbink's cute. You know Carbink's cute. Come on, I swear I've seen you like.
I
See,
like
you just
Klefki,
don't like Gen 6.
Klefki.
You came into this.
Klefki.
You came into this like I'm gonna have a
Klefki.
balanced debate, but I'm gonna make sure I shaft Gen 6. I'm gonna everything else will be fair, but Gen 6 I'm gonna fuck it.
Sorry, I guess I
think
just
Gen
only
6
got
is
caught up on. I guess I only got caught up on what Dredd was saying about Trevenant, because like, bear in mind, like
Is Dread twerking?
Gen 6,
It looks like he's twerking.
I don't know.
Dread's twerking.
I
Why
know
is he
it's just-
twerking?
but like, he said
Oh my
Trevenant,
God.
but then also like there's Gorageist, and like that's 4 mons out of like the 60 introduced mons that are just like the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
But like that. But that was
I
true
like
of Gen
way more
1, and
ones
you
than
loved
Gen
that
7.
about Gen 1. I don't understand. Vileplume and Venusaur were like that, and yeah, everyone loves them.
They're different. They're different.
They're based on the exact same
They're
damn
different.
flower.
Do
They're
not
the
fuck
same
with
colors.
Vileplume, Matt. Do not fuck with Vileplume.
There's so
Do not
many
fuck
more
with
better
Vileplume.
mons in Gen 7, in my opinion, than Gen 6.
I think Barbaricle's
I
kinda
like
gross.
Gen 7.
I like
Binacle
Kamala.
is
I like
hideous.
Binacle.
Binacle
I
is
like-
gross.
I like it.
Binacle, though?
I like it because it's
Binacle.
funny. It's just weird.
I still
It's
take 6
stupid.
over 7.
Nah, 7
6 over 7. 6 over 7.
Seven's got some
Can-
great designs. The problem
It's
is
6 over 7, dog.
Hold on. Regardless of what we say,
6
for
over
6
7.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
have the
Ben.
pen.
Can we?
I can
Can
write
we
down
at least
7 right
argue?
now for democracy.
Can
6
can
over
I
7.
can I really quickly just even if we say 6 over 7, I just want to make a point that can we agree that
6
Inkay and
over 7.
Amalmar is the worst evolution method ever created?
No!
Wait.
No.
I still don't understand. How do you evolve it? I have no clue how you evolve it.
Turn upside
You
down.
turn it
Yes, turn upside down.
That's real. That's actually real.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I thought it was
Yes.
a meme or something.
No. That's how you evolve it.
I thought it was a meme. Wait, so
No.
like, at what level do you have to turn it over? At what
Like
level?
level 20 or something. Is
30,
it 20?
30.
And
No,
after,
no
at,
way.
the, at the end of the battle, you have to turn it, yes, upside down.
Yeah.
So what if you don't do it and it stays as NK?
Yeah.
I liked it.
What is wrong with that?
I liked
What
it
is
because it
wrong?
meant I could keep my
That's
Inkay without having to
amazing.
press B every level.
When I played
So I was well
Ultra
happy.
that was the
Oh my
highlight.
goodness. Okay,
I agree.
that's it.
I
Let's
agree.
get on it. Let's finish this episode.
agree.
It's been over an hour and a half. Let's finish it up right now. 6/7. That's it. Right down. We're done to go. Let's go.
No.
Oh, I'm crying.
Matt, what do you want, Matt? What do you want? 6 or 7? Pick a side. My side or their side?
They're both good. I'll take them both.
Oh my god.
As long as we're all in
Yeah,
agreement
no
that
ties.
1 and 4 are bottom 2.
Okay, let's have a tie. A tie.
I think 7's better than 6.
Let's have a tie.
Yeah.
Let's have a tie. A tie.
We could have tied for
I-
last
hold on.
place.
Why
I
not?
think
7's
I
really
think
good.
there's
I'll
a
take 7.
nuance.
I'll take 7. I'll take 7. I'll let that go over 6.
I
think
I'll
there's
make it
a
3-1.
nuance.
I'll make it
Seven.
3-1. 7's really good.
I
Okay,
think
alright.
there's-
I'll compromise.
I
Let's
think
go.
there's
7
a-
over 6. 7 and 6. Let's do
I
it.
think let me just really quickly say something about 7. I think that there's I think there's so many cool Gen 7 mods. Like
There's
Yukamuku.
loads.
Oh my boy. And like
Yukamuku,
Boy,
my boy.
oh my goodness. Bro, you joke? Oh my god, bro. Bro. Biggest
Beware.
Talon Flame.
Salazzle.
High Roar.
Salazzle though.
Gorgeous. Go. Pangoro.
Hold
Aegis
on.
Slash.
When I
What
I
about-
play Gen 7 blind. I play Gen 7 blind for the most part,
Same.
other than like what was released in trailers. When I saw Araquanid, I was like, holy
Araquanid's
fucking
Yeah, it's
shit.
cool.
this
I
thing
love
is
Wishy-washy,
incredible. It looks like
Wishy-washy
it's
is
gonna tear your face off. It looks like it's
Bro.
gonna kill you. I love it.
Wishy-washy's so cool.
Gallisipod too. Like
Yeah.
you saw like Wimpod and you were like, what
Yeah.
is this stupid thing? And then you saw fucking
Mudsdale.
Guzma, fucking
Mudsdale.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Holy
7 over 6. Let's
shit.
do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Aggie.
7
Let's
over
say
6.
we're
And the
done.
Alolan forms as
Next,
well.
so
The
this
Alolan
is
forms
episode-
are cool.
Final list.
The Alolan
Let's
forms. The
finish it
Alolan
up.
forms. That's true.
5,
Megas.
1, 3, 4, 2, 7, 6. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
So-
do it.
This is
Yeah,
not my
so Gen
tier.
6
6,
gets the
okay,
worst on
so
every
just to
single
clarify,
list.
just to
Get the
clarify,
worst on every
I'm
list.
gonna comment my
Indeed.
tier list below, and it's just gonna be
just
Gen 3 and
clarify,
6.
So Gen 4 has won 2 out of 4 lists, and Gen 6 has come last in every single list.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, well, so we done.
Right.
It's
So
been at
you-
least 2 hours. We have to
Fuck
close
that.
this episode now. Let's stop
Episode
this
1 is
episode
done.
now.
It's over.
Episode
Right.
is 1 that is
So-
done. Okay.
So episode 1 is done. I have a feeling next episode could be longer than this one.
And first of all, I
what is
got one thing to say. All of
Yeah.
our links will down in the description. If Ditto forgets, we're gonna make it delete the episode right now. Okay?
Okay. Come to my house, and if I
Condition.
don't,
That's the condition. we'll kidnap you, Ditto. That's Slacky's job. What are you doing, Matt? What are you doing, Matt?
I'm
what you have
wearing
to do?
sunglasses right now because my eyes are watering so much from this conversation we've had. Like, I'm crying.
Okay,
Well,
we have to finish this
anyway.
up. Let's go. Let's go.
okay, yeah, to wrap this up. Right. So if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to smash the like button down below. Subscribe to everyone's whose link will be in the description down below. 100%. Whoever had the most better opinion, I'll put first. So,
Me.
in my
Me,
opinion.
mine.
So there we go. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please hit subscribe. Leave any comments if for want to see your guys' lists. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios. Bye.